penis. No, Mike, and Drag did it for the money that means he owes us Popeyes.
All right. The fuck is going on, folks? I don't know who else is in Discord right now. I'm not gonna lie. It's me, Headless, and Wujita. Okay. All right, just wanted to check. Mic check from Headless and Wujita.
Mike, check.
All right, cool. I can hear y'all. All right. Oh God. So I got back from our trip to San Diego last night, or I should say yesterday at noon. I just passed the fuck out. Not gonna lie. I was tripping balls on the plane, and yeah, that happened. So, I'm back safe. Still trying to gather my wits about me. So I said, why not have a bit free time before I need to actually be productive? So, what's been going on? Because like I've been receiving like updates on shit because I have the notification set to certain videos, and so I happened to listen to a part of one, and then see that there's some shit going on between G-Man's new brother in Christ, Twan, and other members of the Google Plus Christian community, who I believe that he's trying to criticize for the way that they treat G-Man. And I like one of the things I love hearing from new people is like how like dismayed they are about the way that people treat G-Man. And you have to wonder, because and mind you, I've been dealing with this fucker for years. And it's the same thing over and over and over again. It's the same exact fucking setup. There's either people who come into the community who think that they somehow like have abilities to reach this idiot on some other level. No offense to people who are naive like that, you know who you are. That they have some ability to reach this idiot on some level that, you know, probably at least 100 other people have tried, right? You tell him the same thing. No, he's just an idiot, and he's obstinate, and he's a malicious little fuck. There is no getting through to someone who doesn't want to be gotten through to. Has less to do with your ability and more of his inability to understand very basic things. Hence why he's gotten nowhere in life. So, that being the first scenario. The second are people who wrap themselves in this cloak of, invulnerability because they have a religious belief, and they think that they somehow also have magical powers to shield their brother from criticism, all while actually not acknowledging the fucked up shit that he does and says to people, because that's okay. So I guarantee you, if I were to give Twan any scenario in which this little fucking troll has like said shit to me or my family or the people that I know, like terrible shit, he would be ready to fight. He would be ready to get on a fucking plane that second and go handle business. But because it comes from G-Man, a brother in Christ, that's when you need to like, temper that enthusiasm. That's when you need to mitigate feelings and emotions. But and it's not specifically. It's always interesting. It always goes along the lines of religious belief, not temperament, not like actual offense, not any of these other like factors that you would think that would play into such a decision. But it's always religious belief. So for some reason, I can cuss out your mother and threaten them with physical violence. But if you're a Christian, then that's you were just slipping, and God blinked, and Satan was tugging at your nipples or whatever, some other bullshit excuse. But this is specifically why I don't like black religious folks, because it's always some bullshit, and it's not exclusive to black folks, but it's just because of how I grew up and the shit that I was raised around. It's always some bullshit, always some bullshit to that degree. I mean, this motherfucker can't even like clean his own dick properly, but he has random people on the internet sticking up for him. Really? Somebody was saying something?
Just agreeing with you on how black Christians are damn ridiculous.
Yeah, no, it is absolutely fucking stupid.
I love to watch them criticize some motherfucker for doing some shit that they don't like, and then they'll do the same shit and be like, oh, it's fine when they do it because they're forgiven or some dumb shit.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like the hypocrisy, I love. I would always love the hypocrisy of how they went about their life and then judge people for exactly like the same exact shit that they would do on a daily basis. But it's okay. Who's going to heaven? Who's not? That's what matters. Not actually.
The answer is no one.
Yeah. Surprise, bitch. All right, let me play, because I was listening to this video, and I think it was a title that caught my eye, and so I started noticing something very familiar with this title. So let me play it from right here. This is Twan's video.
Don't examine it or question it, you will get backlash. It may not start off as backlash, but if you're adamant on, challenging it, the fruit of people's walk will begin to manifest, and sometimes that tends to expose false brethren. Like I said again, I will address any professing Christian as a brother or a sister until they give me a reason to second guess myself or just.
So I love this. So he will call any professing Christian a Christian until they give him a reason not to. I wonder what the G standard is here, because there's always a separate standard for what Christians with that quote can do to allow themselves to be considered Christians, and then the standard that everyone has to set for G-Man, because there's always extenuating circumstances when you're dealing with him. And I'm going to make a prediction right motherfucking now. Homeboy's going to step out of line. When I say homeboy, fucking G-Tart. He's going to step out of line. He's going to do some shit far worse than whoever Twan is questioning in his mind. G-Tar's going to do something far worse that would call a lot of things into question. He's not going to give that type of scrutiny to G-Man at all. You're going to see it. I'm calling it right now, folks. He's going to make excuses for it too. Haven't we seen this before with Antonio? Haven't we seen this before with Veckel? Haven't we seen this before with Arcane? Haven't we seen this before with Rank? Like a lot of fucking folks do the same exact thing. Years and years and years and years, they will make a separate fucking category by which G-Man can interact with people. But no. Don't give him exactly what he gives other people. Don't do that. Because
I'm curious.
Go ahead.
How long? Like how many cycles will he go through before there'll just be enough Christians who know he's full of shit, or they'll just start spreading the news and he's just gone? How long will that take? That's on Infinite, man. That would take an infinity amount of hours, because what happens is he learns that this is, when I say G-Tart learns that this is a very small, like, insular group of people. So he can't keep removing people from his circle. He has to then go and curry favor with the people that he's previously considered non-Christians, Mistar, Shani, who have you. He will circle the wagon, so to speak, by trying to get more people in with him, because he has this habit of just assuming that he's the only real Christian in the room. But like I said, he doesn't actually think about the whole picture. It's about him and satisfying his personal needs right there in the moment. So that's why you see him now with Brett Keane and overtly sucking Brett Keane's dick every chance he can get. After all the times he talks shit on Brett Keane, it's funny.
Yeah. Oh no, and he's gone as far as to acknowledge that now, but he doesn't.
Yeah, but he's done it so much over the years. Like, they fucking.
You would think.
Comes back, starts fucking hooking his teeth around his asshole again, and then he talks shit about it. It happens on a yearly basis.
You would think that he'd learned his lesson the second time around, right?
I'm sure Brett Keane is just enjoying having another person like licking his little wee wee.
Of course. Well, of course. It's why if I was Brett Keane, I would love having someone as gullible and as fucking stupid as G-Man. And just for the sole reason that like a loyal beaten dog, he's going to keep coming back to you again and again, and it doesn't matter what you do. And I'm sure Keane knows this now. He knows that all he has to do is keep G-Man about arm's length apart, and let him do his own thing. Because G-Man is going to put himself in a position where he does something that, to offend Keane, and Keane can rightfully so flip on him and go, hey, this is not cool, yada, 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 mac and cheese. And then this is a whole new cycle of drama that generates views and attention that he wants. And then the cycle will repeat itself, because that G-Man needs allies and brothers in Christ and all this other bullshit, so he'll welcome Keane back in with open arms.
I mean, Brett Keane is a fucking idiot, but he's not that stupid. I mean, he knows how to exploit people.
even fairly smart people can get exploited by Brett Keane when they don't know who he is. So, I mean, G-Man's like the perfect game to just dip his balls into whenever he's bored.
Yeah, he's always willing and ready, so why not, right? So let's play some more of this city video.
All right.
You know, take it back. Like, okay, no, you're not really a brother or a sister or whatnot. You're not really in the faith because of what you're teaching and the fact that how you're treating brothers and sisters in Christ. It's kind of like when, you know, with the situation when I see how so-called Christians, you know, have dealt with Brother G-Man, I'm like, there's no way in the world you're a Christian acting like this. There's no way. Either you're a Christian and you're just...
So he's seen the way that other Christians have interacted with G-Man. And that's his standard for what a Christian is or should be. I think that's interesting. I think because, and so here, when I say that I pick up things about people, this is one of the things where Twan has his head up G-Man's ass, and you can be mad at me saying that, because if I was a Christian, I was in his shoes, here's how I would phrase that. I've seen the way that certain Christians on here act with one another, and I don't think that's kosher. If we are brothers and sisters in Christ, then there should be a certain decorum that we reserve for one another, right? Of course, he's not going to say it that articulate, but you get the point that I'm making. His standard for who's a Christian revolves around how well someone treats G-Man, assuming first that G-Man himself is a good Christian and deserves to be treated as such. Now, he was going to hold out on whether or not someone is a Christian until they displayed certain qualities unbefit a Christian, but G-Man is not in that category, because if he was, why would G-Man need to be the focal point for his criticism? Why would you use someone as a standard to test the standard that you're talking about? That doesn't make sense, right? So this is the bullshit here, folks. If y'all want to get to the meat and potatoes of this bullshit about why there is drama, because people aren't actually being Christians here. They're falling for what could be loosely described as the gospel of G-Man. This G-Man's not much different than the Black Hebrew Israelites in his interpretation of the Bible. He's not. It is what he personally thinks from having barely able to grasp the rudimentary fucking aspects of our English language, trying to parse out a book that's been translated 5, 6, 7 times, right? His brain physically can't do that. So people are now giving themselves over to a semi-literate fucking idiot with no goddamn life, and then assigning him a status to which would be fucking like that of a demigod, or at least, you know, a vicar or something, right? And that's what I find interesting about any of these interactions, is that people are so in love with sucking the farts out of G-Man's ass that they'll be willing to sacrifice their religious fucking integrity for him. And I think this is awesome. This shows people why you can't trust fucking religion. This is for an atheist. This is exactly what I could ask for. Please show us more.
Greg?
Yes.
I'm always surprised why it's always the uneducated and illiterate who stand up, say that they studied the Bible, and then tell you what's in it.
Yes, it's like
and
that
then
on
when
Facebook
you know that like one iota more than them about what's in the book or correct what they've said, their asshole just gets bent out of shape.
Oh, of course. You can't be, you can't have something factually wrong.
Right.
And when someone who doesn't believe knows, I mean, it's so small, it's so petty at the end of the day.
And we're not even talking about an interpretation. It's the fact of the text that they said is wrong.
What's in the book of Titus?
Well, okay, now we're splitting hairs, but you know what I mean. It's when they say that this and this and this and this is in there, and then okay, show me where it is. They can't show you because it's not actually there.
Yeah. No, man, it is.
But they studied.
Yeah, I've had some Baptists and some the Jehovah's Witnesses try and pull that on me. I actually had a guy recently in one of the groups that JD Kane is in now, the Defending Precept group, who was referencing Romans 1, And then realized after I said, well, that's a nice verse, but that's not sure that's applicable here. And he said, what verse? And it was, the suppressing truth and unrighteousness that there in Romans 1. But he then realized after I said it that is an actual reference. And so he then went, oh, no, I wasn't talking about Romans 1. I said, well, that's odd that you made a reference to it. And here you are in this biblical group, and you had been making previous biblical references, but this one wasn't. Even I picked up on that. That's like, he felt a bit, I guess, ashamed that he didn't realize that was a verse in the Bible. It's just like, that takes an enormous amount of skill and dedication to actually memorize like a lot of these lines in the context. But this is what these guys are coming out here as. If you're going to be an apologist, then you need to actually know the fucking Bible. And I'm sorry, that's a prerequisite. So thank you, Arthur. I serve no man, but no, thank you. But yeah, so let me finish playing this.
You're falling away from the faith, or you never knew Christ at all. And it would probably be better if you never knew Christ, because if you know Christ, then you know the Spirit of God.
I can't really hear it.
Of God, and you're still treating individuals, or you're holding on to a clearly demonic doctrine or a doctrine of men that has been disproven year in and year out. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no excuse. There's no excuse for it. There's no excuse to continue. It's like there's no excuse to continue in sin. And so if you're doing that, you're proving that you're one of the two. In either case, you're proving that you're not with God. You're not following the Lord. So, and even to this thick shades Reaper guy, whether I'll address him as Reaper, because that's how I know him. But same way. Yosef Maserat. I mean, we had disagreement, but I still addressed him as a brother. He hasn't, at least as far as I remember, as far as I know, he hasn't come at me crazy to make me think any less of him, per se. We have a different understanding of things, and I believe he's in error. He may believe I'm in error, but that's something that if we're truly brothers, we can come together on, and we can battle on that. Iron's supposed to sharpen iron, But just want to let you know that about me, man. So if you're a Christian, if you disagree with anything I say, and obviously if you're not a Christian and you're just coming in on and trolling, eventually it'll be exposed. And when it gets exposed, I'm just gonna cut you off and just, you're kind of just be trolling for the sake of trolling.
I think that's interesting. If you don't believe, then you're automatically a troll now. That tells me a lot about this person here, that he doesn't actually, and I already knew this about Twan. He doesn't actually understand a lot outside of his religious beliefs. That I'm not trying to shit on him, but it's quite clear, because if your only I guess perspective on people who don't believe are just being detractors, then that tells me that you've never genuinely had to sit down and talk to someone who disagrees with you and doesn't have any religious beliefs. But here's what's weird though. You acknowledge them on the one hand, that there are other people of Black Hebrew Israelites and whatnot, everything and whatnot, that disagree.
Wait. Whoa.
But so there are people of different faiths and different interpretations, but they can disagree, and they think you're in error, you think they're in error. That's cool, right? You can agree to disagree. But people who don't believe at all, they're automatically trolls, right? That tells me you really don't understand a lot about this whole thing. This getting on here, but that's not surprising. Again, I've seen time after time people come on here, they think that because they don't know a lot about anything else, and I'm being hyperbolic, but a lot about the stuff that would kind of come into play here. And I mentioned this in my last critique of Twan, is that he doesn't know anything about science for the most part, but then he wanted to weigh in on how crazy this, that, and the other sounded. Well, that's cool. The arguments from your personal credulity are cute, but my 6-year-old can give me that, not an adult. But if you're going to talk about what are sound arguments when it comes to something being logical, and what's logical. Let's not talk about your intuition. Let's get into some of the philosophy. Again, something that I'm pretty sure you don't know too much about. But if we get into this Bible thing, now that's something that you have strong beliefs in. I don't think strong knowledge is part of that. I think it's just, I believe, and this is the only thing I had, and this got me through a hard time, yada, 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 yada. Same shit I've heard for 20, 30 years. That don't mean shit at all. Absolutely nothing. Nothing. Because if that's your only exposure to any higher plane of thinking, then you've easily been fucking wing clipped, intellectually speaking. Because if you can't even discern whether or not the people amongst your little in group there are the best fit by using one of the worst examples out there, then I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. And then to have other Christians call you out and go, look, you've been talking to this cat for about maybe 2 or 3 months, and then you sticking your stuff out there. I don't want drama, but you see that this person is constantly in some drama. Again, another red flag, a huge red flag. Not to mention the very things that he's criticizing other people for, this idiot has done. This idiot has done. Time and time again. Up until recently.
Sorry, just to be clear, Twan is talking about Thick Shades.
Yeah, he's criticizing Thick Shades, so his treatment of G-Man.
Okay, so if you were to listen to that, because I did, and I thought that Twan was talking about G-Man. It sounded like he was pulling G-Man up about whatever the hell G-Man goes on about. This is why I had to see the comments, and I had to kind of go into it a little bit, because I thought he sounds like he's pulling G-Man up, but he wasn't. Do you see what I'm saying? Because that's what G-Man does. He sounded like he was chastising G-Man, but he wasn't.
There we go. I muted myself. So I'm looking at the comments now. Because I
had to. Sorry. I had to look at the comments on that video to see that G-Man was commenting and Twan and G-Man were having a back and forth. So I knew that then Twan wasn't talking about G-Man.
Yeah, because he mentioned Reapers.
But it sounded like he was.
At first, yeah. No, at first, that's what I thought too. And then I started listening and said, because there's a point where he says the treatment of G-Man. So he's talking about how people are treating G-Man, because I can't see any of G-Man's comments at all. I see Thick Shades and Reaper's comments. So, this is, I guess, Thick Shades asking, why gossip? Why not just come to me? Which is also interesting too. Who can come to who under what circumstances? But there seems to be, let's see, and someone who's addressed you like G-Man and Rob Reed shows they are relevant. Who I've asked that hasn't addressed you, name them. Well, and Thick Shades tells them, cut to the chase. I could open up a hangout for you and give you a shout out as well. You can address all you want there. And like you, I rely on the scripture and discernment of the Holy Spirit, not on accusations of others. I must tell you that you are in error of this, equating a God with God. Let me know. We can see if you can man up. And let's see. Lucifer's in here. Okay. And doesn't seem as though our friend Twan has answered Thicky's call to arms. So that's interesting. But okay, Thick Shades says, I'm not messing with him, liar. I'm standing up for myself. The conversation is quite clear unless you still think a God is God. When things got wet, Robbie showed up with irrelevancy, accusing me again. Now I should ask you the question: do you think a God is the same as God? Yes or why? So this has to do with Lucifer's in this too, with some conception of little G God with big G God. So it's my interpretation of this, and I could be wrong, is that G-Man has thrown Thick Shades in here because Thick Shades probably called G-Man out on something. And so it seems to be another scenario where the same thing he did with me and Sister Cherry, where he went and lied to Sister Cherry and said that I was telling people that he was a scammer. I said, no, this shit looks weird. People got that you were a scammer. That's on them. but he went and lied, and then trying to get someone else to defend
You
him.
mean to tell me that G-Man, the honest, infallible genius he is, was dishonest?
It's crazy. It's crazy. G-Man lying again? No.
I can't believe that's impossible.
G-Man wouldn't lie. G-Man hates liars.
So honest.
I don't know what Twan is looking at. It's Antoine, if you're nasty. I don't know what he's watching. If he's watching G-Man's videos and anything connected to G-Man, I don't know what he's. Why has he got this opinion of G-Man? It's like he's like some saint.
So what happens is that G-Man will go and find somebody kind of on the outskirts, and these people really won't watch all his videos. Like they'll see some of it, but they won't. It's kind of like the thing with Wiser. Fucking Wiser, his ass. So they'll see some of the bullshit, but then they'll be ready. They'll be there for defense because they feel that it's obligated. Their Christian brothers under attack, and so they have to do something about it. They're not actually interested in seeing like what's going on here. Maybe the person I'm talking to isn't the most accurate in their description, because when you hear G-Man describe anything, and especially like hear him describe what happens to him, he always manipulates it so that he's a victim. You ever notice that? Like it doesn't how mundane it is. He's always a victim.
So it's kind of like
They don't stick.
No, sure.
I was hoping they stuck.
Yeah. Look at what happened with Howard Zulu.
Wait, what?
The young kid was watching G-Man videos, showed up, started defending G-Man, and now is like divorced himself from G-Man because he figured out G-Man was dishonest and wholly going down a completely different path.
What a surprise. That's never happened before.
Oh, G-Man's made atheist.
Vincent, who was that again?
That was Hellraiser Zulu.
Oh yeah.
Oh, what was that? Say that again.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
Hilarious Zulu.
Yeah.
He shows up. He winds up getting in league with like G-Man and the other
Yeah.
CCP guys there. And we told them, look, they're gonna throw you out, and this is how they're gonna do
Yes.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
Eventually, they're gonna turn on him and they'll throw him out and get rid of him and slander him. He didn't believe us. He runs in there, joins them, and within like less than a week, they go after him and throw him out. He comes back crying that they've thrown him out.
Yeah.
And they threw him out exactly the way we told him.
Yeah.
Bitch, you dumb bitch.
Yeah, he was like 16. He was like
Oh, yeah.
No. He was about 19.
No.
Not at that time. He is now.
Yeah, to be fair. Yeah.
He is now, but no, at that time, this was like 2 years ago.
But he hasn't been around for that long, surely.
That was about 3 years.
But anyway, who cares? I mean,
It
who
was
cares?
roughly 2 years ago, yeah.
2 years ago. Anyways, Drake, what's Hilarious Zulu up to now?
Oh, he is now a Black Hebrew Israelite.
Yeah, he's a
The very thing that G-Man fights against.
He is.
So
No,
now
yes, he
he's
is.
taken someone who was, if I could say, a Seventh-day Adventist, and has now driven them over to being a Black Hebrew Israelite.
Listen.
The very thing that he fights against, he's pushed someone in that
Listen.
direction.
I can imagine that Zulu, whatever the Christ he calls himself, because he's
Call him
from
hilarious because it's funnier.
Yeah. To be fair, he's from kind of my neck of the woods. I reckon if he comes out with any of that Hebrew nonsense, his grandmother or his auntie or even his mom is beating the hell out of him. He's only a BHI on the internet, to be fair.
Yeah, most
Right.
likely.
Because there's no such thing in this country.
What is stupid people?
No, BHIs, it's like...
Oh, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
So you have stupid people, is what you're saying.
Well, there is some. There is BHIs in this country. But
Yeah.
they get the side eye and it's like, no, his
Like I would
auntie, his
say-
grandmother, they're beating the hell out of him.
I don't think he's JoJo, so they're probably not actually beating him. But
No,
anyways,
I think they would. it's nonsense.
That was the funniest shit I ever heard though. Was JoJo getting the shit beat out of him by like his sister, his grandmother, like live on the internet.
But sorry, but just going back to Seventh Day Adventist, that is the closest you will get to a BHI in this country. Is a Seventh Day Adventist.
Well, I mean that's where he started from, so it wouldn't be a huge jump.
But he's listened to too many YouTube videos. There's no such thing in this country. There might be some pockets, but they're just little groups of weed smokers, and it's nothing. They're nothing.
Well, like I said, I don't think they're militant there, but I think they exist.
No. Drag.
Drag, I'm muted because you ain't said shit in a while.
No, he's posting pics. That's why I need to mute.
This is unrelated, but the homeless circle got completed yesterday because there was a homeless man shooting next to the entrance of my apartment. So.
Oh, I'm glad we missed that. I've had
for
enough.
Those that were on the trip, they.
Oh God, no more sketchy Vietnamese coffee houses for me.
Dan, would you care to elaborate for those of us who are not on the trip?
No.
I was asking Sam.
Yeah, but we can answer for Sam.
Collection. We saw a collection of very strange homeless people. Would you agree with that, Drag?
Yeah. No, it's just escalated really quickly. Everything escalated.
Right.
Describe.
One of them was like picking up kerosene and gasoline.
So were these your homeless Pokemon? Was this like collecting homeless Pokemon?
You could say that.
Pokemon was a very dark game.
Yeah.
But this was so. Drag, describe the first home.
The first one, if you had a depiction of what G-Man would look like at age 80 in a wheelchair, street preaching, that would pretty much be it. Just this guy, he looked near dead. He was slumped over at a street corner at a fairly I think it was right off the highway too.
It was right off the highway.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, because there was reference to an exit ramp, so it had to be. So.
Yeah, he was right there, and like he looked dead. Like he looked. I saw him move every so often, so I knew he wasn't dead, but he looked damn near dead. Like it was just sad.
I would talk about homeless people.
To be fair, it's related to G-Man.
Yeah.
I mean, fair.
That was only a homeless person.
A lot of context.
Number one. We'll sprinkle in different homeless person stories, sort of like Dave should. With the others.
All right, so let me get back to playing fucking this guy because I want to get to the main course eventually.
But if your brother or sister, you may have some disagreements. Well, I've had some disagreements with brothers and sisters thus far here on YouTube, and it's fine. But I'm gonna stand where I'm standing at until I'm shown that I don't need to be standing there no more, or that I may be off or something like that or whatnot. So, and there's no harm, no foul, especially when it comes to the body of Christ, because we're all supposed to have one mind, and we're supposed to love each other as Christ loved us, and we're not supposed to lie to each other. No, we're supposed to try to make other accounts to try to deceive Christians or something like that.
Man, I already fucked that up.
Like I said in my last video, I hope that
like all the shit that he doesn't like about Christian, G-Man does.
The guy just has a similar doctrine, and they just happen to say the same things. But right now, it's not looking like
He's talking too fast.
It's not looking like that. He is proven to be an enemy of the faith, enemy of the gospel, and he'll be treated just as such. Not in the sense of trying to kill him, not in the sense of wanting him dead, not in the sense of wanting him to go to hell or the lake of fire, but in the sense of, hey, I'm gonna treat you like an enemy, man. Especially if you're talking like you know the Lord, and especially if you're using the scriptures and you're perverting the scriptures to uphold a doctrine or to spit some lies or whatever. No, I'm gonna expose the mess out your mind. You know what I'm saying? So, and I ain't even got to be loud with it. So it's just.
It always trips me out listening to this mindless drivel.
Simple things, man.
I can't hear what he's saying. He's talking too fast.
I just wanted to make that video because we have to understand how to approach each other. If we approach each other gently, if we deal with each other gently, if we deal with people gently.
You should get him on Black.
People will reveal
What's your show, Drag? 3 Black Evens. You should get him on that.
Sinful and and demonic, if you will, or devilish and slandering.
Am I the only one who just
They'll
feels
reveal themselves. Don't get me wrong.
like tripped out whenever you
People
just
try to
hear
use
a grown
Isaiah
person
against us and
saying
stuff
shit
like
like
that, which
this?
is, that's fine. It
I
happens.
feel like I feel
But,
sleepy.
just, addressing people in.
Yeah, he's just kind of sorry for the feedback, folks. I forgot to mute myself. Yeah, no, he's just kind of just rambling. Like I understand what he's saying, but it's just he's rambling about things that he doesn't like and things that he does like and that sort of thing. It's like, oh, okay, nobody cares. But no, so here, like I'm not against inviting him to Three Black Heathens. He's just woefully underprepared. And like again, I'm not trying to flex on my man, but it's this. I've mentioned this before. He knows nothing when it comes to these topics. Absolutely fucking nothing.
But then it's the education of Antoine, if you're nasty. It's his education. Go on there, talk to three dudes, get yourself straight in your head.
Yeah.
You can't educate somebody who's not going to listen to you, though.
Yeah, no, that's the kind of thing that's like, because when I was,
but he might
like if
he may not have spoken to like three like educated dudes.
He might. If somebody wants to reach out to him, feel free. The offer is open. But something tells me that there's a lot up here that I'm just trying to be nice as I can. I've met dudes like this before. I've known dudes like this my entire life. They at a certain point in their life where can't nobody tell them nothing, and they think that they know every goddamn thing. And so when they actually are in the presence of people who do know more, they don't know how to act. And so they start puffing out the chest. They start trying to, do the macho thing. It's like, man, I've had 4 years of that shit in the military. I don't need any more of that. Like, I'm about being around people who are better than me. I'm about trying to, rub elbows with folks of power and influence and knowledge. I don't think my man is about that life at all. I don't think that he would even
drag
begin
the
to
called
understand.
Man-child.
Yeah, I don't want to call because I think that like man-child
I don't think it's fair
has
to
a certain
put
stigma.
children into that category of retard.
Has this guy got no uncles? He's got no like sort of outside people that can say to him, "Hang on, slow down. Just just think about what you're saying." He just must be living in a bubble.
I don't think. Well, yeah, a lot of this goes back to why I don't like a lot of black Christians. They put themselves in that bubble. I heard my aunt once say, "Don't worry about making good grades in school. The world's coming to an end anyway. Just get right with Jesus, and everything will be fine." I will never ever forget that ever in my life. She willfully wanted to sabotage her own children's education for this religious bullshit. And that was a turning point in my life when I realized that a lot of these cats aren't really about doing much more than the bare minimum. They're not about actually trying to challenge themselves and think. They're not actually about trying to do anything to edify themselves or the people around them. They're about propagating these beliefs. Whether they're good or bad is irrelevant. They just need to that's the only reason they exist. And they're pretty much worthless to me. Because if that's the only thing that you can do, we can get a brain dead motherfucker to take up oxygen. We don't need you. So that's why, I feel kind of passionate about that because these are some of the same cats that want to talk about, we got to help out the beleaguered neighborhoods here and there, help out Detroit. We got to help out, places in Louisiana, where brothers or sisters are struggling and shit like that. It's like, what the fuck are you going to do? You're going to pray them to paradise? You're going to, you're not going to build them a Wakanda. You're not going to build them a Black Utopia. You're not going to do shit. You work at a menial labor ass job, doing the bare fucking minimum day to day out, not doing anything for your fucking self. So how are you going to help Wakanda, huh? How are you going to help out that effort exactly? You're not going to do a goddamn thing. Nothing. You're not. You're not smart enough. You're not going to challenge yourself to do anything. So no, just quit talking about it.
But then why help anybody? Why help anybody? Why try and solve any social issue if it doesn't really matter in the end, because it's all to the glory of God and you're all going to heaven anyway? I mean, does that kind of make sense? It's like, but why? Why give a shit about anything that's going on now if anybody's killing anybody?
They don't. That's the thing. They claim to, but they actually don't.
Yeah, but it's not because they don't because they think they're going to heaven. I think it's because they don't because they can't be bothered.
It's the perfect escape. They get to say that they're virtuous by way of their religion, and then on top of that, they get to not give a shit because it's going to end anyway.
Virtue signaling. Yeah.
in their
This
own
comes
mind.
down to the debate between faith and work.
Yeah, and
You
so
got the faith, you're fine, you're clean, you're good. Doesn't matter what you do. But if you focus on the works, well, now you actually got to do shit.
You actually have to get off your backside and
Yeah.
do
You've
something.
actually got to do something, stand up, and actually be accountable for what you're doing.
Either physically you have to do something, or
responsibility.
financially.
Oh,
you have
oh, yes, you're right. Responsibility.
I think you have a slight misunderstanding of saved by faith alone.
It's okay, Kathleen.
yeah, so
I just tend to find the people who take the faith side of things they're the assholes. They never actually walk a walk.
True. And they don't actually have faith.
Right.
Because if you have faith, necessarily good works will follow.
Right.
I mean, I would say they're not all assholes. You have guys out there like St. Toddy, who's an asshole at times, but actually does do some good stuff.
But
Well,
that
and he-
falls into what Kathleen just said. And we're getting off topic, so let's get back to G-Man.
let me play this video. It's almost done.
Maybe a demeaning or derogatory way. It's not the way I do things. I'm not really with the name calling, even though the name Thickums was kind of hilarious. With regards to Thick Shades and possibly the Reaper, but that was pretty hilarious. But I'm not gonna address you like that, because that just sounds, that's just a little. It's like calling a grown man delicious. So I don't know if anybody know those old comedy, stand-up comedy segments or whatever. Dudes talking about something, just call me delicious. No, I'm not gonna call no man delicious. I'm gonna call you bruh, bro, homie, dude, by your name, whatever. But I'm not gonna call no grown man something that just doesn't sound. It just sounds effeminate. No, I'm not gonna do that.
What's this? Go back. Pause.
So
Sorry.
So you know how we call Thick Shades Thicky sometimes?
Yeah.
So he's against.
He doesn't like that.
He's against that because it can be taken in a sexual context. So
Thicky?
Thicky. So I'm not sure how he's contorting his brain to do that, but he equates it to calling another man delicious, which it can have I guess a sexual connotation in some way. I've never had to call anybody that, but
hang on. So go back. I missed something there. What's delicious?
So
Delicious what?
So some dudes who are effeminate for several reasons would want to be called by a certain name, such as delicious. So in order for you not to play into that,
I can't believe I get to say this to a black guy. That's a Cedric the Entertainer joke.
yes, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Cedric. I'm not actually.
Oh,
I'm not.
don't get that.
I'm just saying that I'm a Jew.
Yeah.
Jews.
Well, it's the same. Like it's So y'all have heard me reference me calling Arcane logos peaches. Has anybody heard me say that?
Right.
So
Right.
if you've ever heard me
Okay.
say, that's the equivalent of me calling him peaches. It's a reference to his skin tone because also he's soft and sweet. So which is a gay reference.
And juicy.
And juicy, yeah. So that's me calling him gay indirectly. So he doesn't want to call another grown man that. So to calling Thick Shades Thicky has some homoerotic connotation that he's picking up on.
In his head.
In his head.
In
Like
his
I would have never picked up on Thick Shades. I've been calling him that. Like I knew of that nickname for years and never felt that it was gay in any way, shape, or form. But then again, like
Wow.
Like
Swan, if you're nasty, he's getting that vibe.
You have to stretch your mind quite far for that. That's
something.
Yeah, that one's a new one.
Y'all have, right?
Oh, someone just sent me a text. Hold on. Have you addressed his wild assertion that you and your followers were obligated to help him during his time of need? That our failure to do so makes us evil people. I think I made a reference to that before, but I know he's watching now. Let me make something abundantly clear, G-Tard. No one's obligated to fucking help you or anybody else in this goddamn world. I don't know where your fucked up parents taught you that, but my parents, the same parents who, struggled through fucking Hurricane Katrina with me, didn't feel they didn't feel that anyone else was obligated to ever help us. That people did, obviously. But No one's obligated to help you. No one's obligated to be nice to you. No one's obligated to do shit to you. So, as somebody who actually had decent parents, I know that there's two things in this world that I'm guaranteed to do: be black and die. That's it. Outside of that, nothing. Nothing's fucking guaranteed. So, if outside of those two things, everything you're getting is fucking charity, you should be thankful for it. But you ain't getting none here. And if that makes us evil people for realizing that you a malicious fuck who deserves nothing and who constantly lies, no, I don't like. Where would you ever think that? Of course not. And if people are mad because we don't want to give money or resources to someone who is a liar, who squanders it, who doesn't deserve it, then they can eat a dick. They can eat two dicks. They can eat your dirty dick for all I care. But no,
Spicy old dick.
Cool bag of dicks.
If we're all obligated to provide for everybody else, then everybody's paying every fucker else. It's like I'm giving money to every fucker in this chat and
we're all
everybody else in the world.
If we're all obligated to take care of everybody else, we're communists.
Well, and then fucking G-Man should be sending money to me and to everybody else. If we're all paying for everybody else, it doesn't work like that.
He has a weird sense of entitlement. Like I have not been able to really put my finger on it or where he got it from, but I guess he's just under the impression that people simply live to whatever like befits his current lifestyle. Like it's because anytime that he wanted to holler at MP or Hana, it was, oh, let's go out, let's go do something. Oh, I don't have any money, so hey, they end up paying for his shit, which a few times, you do that, but you pay the person back. But like this dude he's just a leech. This is why he didn't have any fucking friends in real life. Does anybody ever notice? Has anyone ever heard him talking about going out with friends or taking a break because he's gonna go see a movie? Y'all ever heard him talk about anything like that?
Yeah, but this is why he called out to MP and Hannah because he knew that they were decent people and they had money. To be fair.
Yeah, no, and
they had two things. They had decency. They had three things: decency, integrity, and they had money.
You notice he didn't call Ken Jones. He didn't call Antonio. He didn't call any of his Christian brothers.
Because they got their money.
And that's it. I had a long conversation with him. I was like, you just his fucking gravy train, huh? That's why he didn't call you to holler at you to say what's up. That's probably the first time he called your ass in a fucking week or something.
He should have phoned them and said, pray for me. But no, he doesn't need prayers. He needs actual money and a lift to the hospital.
Yeah, because
That's because prayers don't cure a dream.
What? No.
Maybe it's because prayers don't work.
My whole
Prayers
world
don't
is
cure the
shattered.
dick bug.
How will I live on?
Greg, you're a combat medic. Was that
But
something
guys,
taught you
every
in the
time
army?
I pray, God says yes, no, or maybe. Guys, come on, that proves it.
Look, in the tough combat medic army world where you do tough things, everyone knows that you go into battle with a prayer journal. That's the best thing that you can have.
When you met my boss, you trying not to laugh when you explained that York was one of my favorite moments.
Oh my god.
Honestly, I prefer to go to battle with a can of soup because at least then I could eat the soup when I needed it.
Yeah, no, the moment my gaffe during that whole meeting, I think I ended up saying like human contraception or something like that instead of male contraception. Yeah, that was oh fuck moment. It's like, yeah, that I would fucking imagine. What did Emperor just send me? The fuck is this? I have to watch this later. Who this guy? What the? He's always sending me crazy stuff, but it looks interesting. All right, let's finish this.
I was going to say you should play the video where G-Man's looking at those deer statues in New York, and he thinks they're of Baphomet. Have you seen those ones?
The fuck? No.
He's got some videos. There's some art in New York City apparently of some deer, human figure, humanoid deer.
Thalo. I've actually looked it up. It's specifically the one he's looking at. It's the figure of there's a figure kneeling, passing a rose through a fish bowl to a mermaid.
Right?
Now,
Yeah,
the
there's
figure,
few.
he is
He's got
correct.
three.
The
He's got
figure,
three.
it does have a goat head.
No, it had a deer.
It
was
looks
a
more
deer
like
head.
a deer, but the antlers are not antlers. They're actually horns. They don't have any budding where they split off. They just go
But
straight.
the face is a deer, surely.
Yes, and the artist does refer to it as Goat Man.
Oh, really? But there's
Yes.
another one. I think there's three.
Yes,
isn't
there is one that has
3PO?
more deer-like antlers.
Oh, the fuck was that?
All right, let me play this.
God bless you all. Hope you have a good rest of the day. And
Okay, we don't care. All right, that's enough. All right, so this we were supposed to like experience California, as it were, and do reviews of stuff, but we were not in any shape to do any of that. And, like, just sinking into the couch and watching Wings of Redemption videos was about the extent of our of our reviewing, and the occasional fucking chuckle and belly laugh that soon followed. Anyway, this is entitled I Did It for the Money, which I think is his way of being facetious, but his humor kind of eludes me at times. So I think I've listened to maybe 10 minutes of this while I was incredibly high. So I don't remember anything that was said. So this is pretty much a fresh response to whatever the fuck this is. And it's almost been an hour already. Goddamn. Yeah, we're not getting through this video. Start
Ministries. Before we get started with this particular video, I want to encourage everyone who's watching this particular YouTube video to go and watch Brett Keen's latest video. I think it's his latest video. The video is called Possible to Befriend an Atheist or an Agnostic Here Online. And he brings up some really, really, really good points on his YouTube channel. We have not seen that video. Go check it out. Even though he turned off the ratings on that particular video, give him a thumbs up and let him know that you heard about his YouTube channel from my YouTube channel. Okay, it's not that often, but killed it and just completely.
Okay, so I forgot to warn people. The first like 5 minutes is G-Man trying to fit Keen's cock in his mouth.
Yeah, well, I love how he says, even though he turned ratings off for that video. No, that's his whole channel. He disabled people being able to see ratings because atheists use vote bots and blah blah blah. Because they're all attacking his family.
Told my kids waterheads. Remember that dumb shit?
The fact that he wrote himself that email and called his own child a waterhead and then tried to blame it on somebody the fuck else is so fucked up.
So stupid. Fucking Brett Keen. Oh my god.
All right.
Gave legit, logical, and rational reasons why we should not be interacting with certain people online here. Again, go check out his latest video. Brett Keen, BRETT, last name Keen, KEANE.
This video is basically him complaining about people
online.
making money off their own
called,
videos and Patreon and all that business.
Is it possible?
It's boring as hell.
You already watched
At
this?
least he spelled Keen.
So basically, people should e-bag instead of like actually providing content for people. Oh,
So
okay.
Is this like just a live stream about all the dumb stuff G-Man's done? Oh, I don't mind you doing it. I was just curious what it was all about. Well, I've only had one run-in with the dude, but I can surmise that he's not the most intelligent person in the world.
What are you talking about? G-Man has an IQ of 3,000.
There were 12-year-olds at the Natural History Museum who understood more than G-Man.
No, it's not that G-Man didn't understand. He just understands on such a great level that we just don't understand. We us mere mortals cannot process the genius that G-Man just puts out into the world.
He told me that I could not possibly be a Christian, that there was no way on God's green earth that I was a Christian because I had the audacity to believe in evolution.
No, because you had the audacity. The audacity.
The audacity.
Audacity.
We've seen people who have doctorates in theology and who are current ministers and whatnot, and G-Man has told them they don't know what they're talking about and they're not actually Christians. So
Right.
You're in good company.
G-Man has studied his Bible. You know.
Bet you he hasn't read past
I don't know if
He hasn't
G-Man's
even read
ever
the four
actually
Gospels,
studied
yet alone
the
the book of Titus, okay?
Now, G-Man has a children's study Bible that was signed in crayon.
Who signed it?
Shadow Heathen's wife.
Oh, right, that's what they sent him. Yes. And he was very offended, too, because they wrote in it.
Yeah, because people don't like highlight and write in Bibles all the fucking time, especially during Bible studies. I wonder, man, fuck.
Yeah.
The president of our country just didn't sign a bunch of fucking Bibles.
My study Bible is, I've got 3 of them because the first 2 completely fallen apart.
It makes you wonder though, if he's never marked in a Bible, like where does he take notes at? Like does he
Well,
I know he doesn't, but still.
In order to mark in the margins of a Bible, one, you'd have to actually own a writing utensil like a pen or pencil. 2, you'd actually have to open the Bible, which we know G-Man's never done. And on top of that, you'd have to be able to actually write.
Well, and you'd also need to be literate, which we know G-Man's not.
Well, I did find, I think the funniest thing that I found was during my encounter with G-Man, he had this, I guess it was first time setting up a Discord chat or whatever, and he didn't understand how Discord works, so he ended up giving the entire room moderator powers, and then the entire room just kept muting and deafening him.
Yeah, that sounds about
Where
the
did this
level of
happen?
retardation.
He made a room a couple weeks ago on Discord, and I just got a random invite.
Was this the EMW?
I don't remember what the room was called.
East meets West? Because it's not the G-Man room.
No, this room
That one has no moderation anymore.
This room lasted for a total of 3 hours. He nuked the server when he realized he didn't know how to create a server because he was...
Okay, that's the East meets West one then.
And I never met the guy. I didn't know anything about him. And I came in the room and he was talking. I'd been in the room for 13 seconds and he goes, "So Cap, what do you think about everything that I said?" I said, "Well, I've been in here for 13 seconds, so I don't know anything that you said." And then he said, "Well, we were talking about God and evolution and everything like that." And I said, "Well, you know, evolution is the way in which we got here." And he said, "You atheist scum," basically. It's like, all right, this is going to go real well.
Yeah, from your experience, would you say that he's intent on listening and understanding his interlocutor's position?
Not at all.
Do you think that do you think he's genuinely interested in having conversation with people in general?
No.
And as somebody of the faith, do you feel that he's a good representative of your faith?
Not at all.
Oh, okay. I was just curious.
To represent the faith is to be Christ-like. So, if we want to know how to act, all we have to do is go to the gospel. Well, Jesus, took time to talk to everybody, explain everything in a way that they would have understood. He never got angry. He never got, he just never did those things. And if you do those things, then you're not representing Christianity. You're representing your own personal self-interests.
It
So-
also goes to show, sorry, Drag. It also goes to show that you've got to be there straight away. You're there. You've got to give your opinion straight away. You can't even like. He's not even giving you time to like mull it over. You've got to go. The first thing that comes into your head, go say
Well,
it.
but also remember, G-Man has the quiz. Because if somebody says they're a Christian, he'll just go down the list until they find they have a doctrinal disagreement with him,
Yeah,
and then you're not a Christian anymore. Fuck you.
yeah. It's like it's you're meant to say the first thing that comes out of your fucking mouth, and you better justify yourself. Go. So if you
Well-
you need to have 2 minutes just to gather your thoughts on the question that somebody said to you: is abortion wrong? And then you say you've got to give yes or no, black and white. It's cut and dry.
Are you with Ray Montero?
So I think it's important to remember that when you encounter people like G-Man, right, is that there's a group of Christians online who are very intent in doing nothing but bashing atheists. That's the only thing they do. They don't have faith. They don't have spirituality. They don't have the spirit. Regardless of whether you believe in those things or not, I do. Those people don't possess them. Because Christianity is about helping the prisoner. It's about helping the poor person. It's about helping the prostitute. It's not about bashing other people. In fact, I think atheists are a gift to Christianity by God. Because when atheists do something good, they don't do it out of any external moral obligation to a divine deity. They do it simply because in their heart they know it's right. And that should show Christians how to be truly humble. And Christians don't get that. Atheists are a gift, not something to be looked down upon or scorned.
I'll give everyone in the outside chat a quick tip here. If you're ever going to put together care packages to go feed the hungry and the poor, like the homeless, do yourself a solid, or at least do them a solid. Don't go out and buy discount, stale, day-old cookies to put in there. I've actually seen someone who claims to be a Christian do that because they were cheaper.
Yeah.
Oh, give them motherfuckers
Yeah.
some rice and beans or some shit.
Well, I
Well,
mean,
you're supposed to do unto others you want others to do unto you, and you're handing out stale food.
yeah.
That
but
gets the
at-
Jesus points.
But at the same time, if you're wanting to do homeless people like an actual favor, and you're feeding them, like a roll of toilet paper is always welcome.
Well, that's why, Vince, I'm not
toiletries,
worried what you're
stuff like
putting
that.
in the thing. It's don't put stale food in there.
Yeah.
Right.
This is again, right, the problem with Christians and the problem with church, right? So we're supposed to mirror Christianity, right? As a Christian, I'm supposed to mirror Christianity. What a church is not a building to go worship Jesus Christ and sing songs and things like that. Church is a group of people who have come together to pool their resources in order to spread the word of God and help the needy. And it's not about this big building or anything like that. All that money should be going to feed people. All that money should be going to provide medical care, housing, and that. But instead, we spend it on TVs and entertainment systems, and then we send the rest to organizations like the Southern Baptist Convention, which then in turn uses that money to elect evangelical candidates who hate gay people and want to stop abortion, things like that. Yeah, Jesus isn't down with any of that. I guarantee you 100%. I can't guarantee you Jesus is God, but I can guarantee you he's not down with any of that.
I would just spend all that money on hookers and cocaine.
Hey, Jesus loved hookers. Jesus loved cocaine addicts.
Well, and there are also the preachers out there that need to have, a private jet. Or
Thou shalt have a mansion in the hill.
Yeah, the several $1 million mansion that they call a worship center, but it's actually just their house.
Shalt
What's
only
that one?
travel by the metal
That
bird.
one, that one bastard's name, the Apostle. Wasn't it David something? David Turner, the Apostle. Remember him? Everybody see that deposition that he gave, where he had to wear Gucci
No,
this and
that was Creflo Dollar, by the way.
no. There was another guy.
Oh yeah, I know there was
Apostle.
another guy too. Yeah.
Some fat dude.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Sorry, what was he doing, Thalo?
He'd taken money from a woman. I think he'd taken about £1 million, $1 million, excuse me, from her, and he was called to her divorce hearing because it was like the husband was saying, "Where's all this money gone?" It was the Apostle David Taylor, I think it was David Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
And
let's be careful with calling him an apostle.
No, that was his title. No, that was his title.
It's a self-given title.
Yeah, he called himself out. And he had to have Versace this because the belts were better, the suits were better, you know, you had to have the best cars because, you know, those were the ones that suited his purpose.
Thalo, is this guy a prosperity gospel?
I'm not sure because it was in a divorce deposition, so it was very, very sort of narrow. But he's a con artist.
Yeah, Jesus walked around in some tattered rags and some,
of course,
cardboard with straps on his feet.
At least the dudes that give strippers money like that usually get to fuck.
Now, to be fair, right, Jesus did have a few advantages over us today. Like, he could wear tattered clothes and rags on his feet, but he could also turn one fish into 5,000 fish and a gallon of water into a gallon of wine. So it's not like the dude was going hungry. That's a joke, by the way.
Yeah. And that technically made him a wino because he never ran out of wine.
Yeah, but didn't he also yell at olive trees?
He cursed an olive tree for not
tree,
providing
wasn't
food
it?
for him. Yeah, he did curse an olive tree. It wasn't an olive tree. But it was a fruit tree of some kind.
Yeah,
it was a fig tree.
A fig tree. Yeah, it was a fig tree. That is one of two angry outbursts. He was also really mad at people changing money in his father's house.
Yeah, so he flipped tables and whipped the shit out of him. It was great. But anyways, we're never making it through this fucking video.
Anyone? Yeah, we're a minute in. We're not gonna make it, guys.
God, I wish I would have been in the room with him and just had a conversation with him about that particular topic because he absolutely killed it in that video. And if it's possible, if you can give him a little teeny weeny donation, that'd be great too. Despite what these other atheists are saying on here. Thank you, Steve Bowden. I appreciate that. I want to talk to you because I kind of want to piggyback off of that video that he made because he made a lot of good points. What I'm about to say right now is what I'm about to say is not related to all atheists. Believe it or not, this is only towards certain people online. This is not directed towards all atheists. Not what I'm going to say right now. I have other videos where I direct it to all of them, but this particular video is not directed to all atheists because not all atheists behave this way. Okay?
Yes, we do.
And by the way, I'm dedicating this video not only to my Lord and my Savior, Jesus Christ. I'm going to openly admit that part of the inspiration of this video came from watching Brett King's video.
Almighty Church.
And also, I like to dedicate it to all of our brothers and sisters in
And
Christ. I'd like to dedicate this video to all my brothers and sisters in Christ who's ever been to an atheist Google Hangout and has been belittled in all of the things that we're going to be talking about here. Okay, so let's get into this here. All right.
Typically, those dumb fucks belittle themselves.
So, Scholar, I'm definitely still making videos, and my channel is still bigger than yours, Junior. So anyway, let's get into this here. All right. Why are people, for example, telling us that true empiricism is not worth their time anymore? Why are people telling us that Antonio should not?
I remember this video. Okay, no, I think we were talking about this in the car. We were heading to Vaughn's. So he's still mad that he was told, and that true empiricism was told that they're not worth our fucking time. And it's like this. It's the fucking truth. I would downplay how many people would contact me and go, look, you know, there's something wrong with True. You know that he's trying to pretend like he's one of you guys. you know, but the more you guys entertain him, the more he thinks that he's like your peer. And again, I'm not making up this shit, folks. This is stuff people really told me, and multiple people. But it's obvious. It's obvious to anybody who's watching that True doesn't actually understand any of these topics. Like it's true, you know. So
Ronnie's intellect degrades in water, by the way.
That is true. But that brings up a great point, though. Even if you try to be funny, we had a 6 months. Oh God, was it 6? I want to say almost like half a year, half a fucking year. We were all discussing the context of the word dissolve, and specifically for chemistry, dissolve, because he at the time didn't realize that when you say something dissolves in chemistry, that doesn't mean it breaks apart into all those little pieces. That's not what that means. Colloquially, you know, for people who are just using it, yeah, you could use it like that. But he was trying to make a point about certain nucleic acids going into, I think at the time, going into an acid, which, okay, but, you know, dissolving and then breaking apart until it's you know, nucleotide bases or whatever. I forgot what it was. But that does not take a 6-month conversation. At the time, some of us were actually actively putting DNA into solution, as you do with DNA. But that really...
Yeah, but with him, he can't admit. Like, that's the whole thing. Is it's a trivial thing. If he just said, you know what, that would have been fun.
Obviously, he doesn't admit he's wrong because he's never wrong because he's a genius. We went over this. Come on. He's infallible.
Yeah, that's a huge part of it. Like, he can't seem to lose face, even if it's something small. And he could have said, you know what, you know, I goofed on the context there. I misheard. You know, here's what I'm trying to say, and we'd have been like, whatever. You know, obviously you goofed on it. What's your point? But he can't. And this is his buddy has a similar issue. None of them can kind of like de-escalate or bring themselves back from anything. Like, they have to score points for their team. If they admit fault, then they can't score that point. And it doesn't do them anything like other than a disservice, because it's quite obvious to anybody who went, okay, what are you guys talking about? I get tired of hearing about this. They go watch, what is that, Crash Course Biology, wherever that fucking series is, and you can listen to what's-his-face talk about this very thing, and it's not controversial. But it is, because Ronnie, their self-proclaimed science guru, or self-elected science guru, said something that was fucking wrong. And even this is funny for those of you who are brand new. When this whole saga was going down, we went around asking people, what did you learn about science from True Empiricism? We've yet to get an answer from anybody. Nobody. I even asked G-Man, because he was upset, like he's upset right now. This stupid look on his face. You guys keep saying that True Empiricism doesn't know anything about science, and he does. He uses words I don't understand. I'm not making that up at all. He actually did. I'm paraphrasing, as he likes to say. I'm paraphrasing. But because True uses words that he's never heard of, that's how he knows that True knows stuff about science. If that gives you an idea about what the low bar is for him believing someone knows something about a topic, them using words he's never heard of is that standard. So, and I said, well, what if I just made up a bunch of words? You know, how would you be able to tell if I was, you know, smart or not? You know, if you'd never heard of them. And he had no idea. Like, it had never occurred to him that people could just like make up words, one, or misuse them. So I said, okay, that makes sense. I said, well, about this whole DNA and water thing, since you brought up, what ended up being the right case? You know, what did you learn from that? What was, you know, what is True's position actually? And I don't know, you'd have to ask True. I said, hold on for a second. You just said that he was right in all the stuff that he was saying, and that we were saying he didn't know anything, and your evidence was this whole saga, but you don't know his position on it.
Well, also remember, he pointed out the reason that Ronnie's smart and knows science is because you respond to him.
Yes, that was the other thing.
Because you tell him he's fucking wrong, that means he's right.
Although, to put it into context, he did say that Ronnie was his go-to man on science after Neffy.
Yeah, which I'm not sure how, but I guess if Neffy was the standard,
right.
Lunar Bukaki.
We might have to do some really, really deep digging here, but I believe somewhere out there's a video of True Empiricism agreeing with Mr. Intelligent Design. After
shit.
Edgar went on his little prattle, he did his presentation and stuff, and then Ronnie's like, yeah, and he just agrees with him. It's like, did you not listen to what the man just said?
Okay, Kent Hovind was smart enough to run the fuck away from his
after
training.
45 minutes. It
was just like,
minutes.
It took him 45 minutes, but he's like, okay, well, I gotta go. And he just dropped. So he could claim the fucking call cut out or some shit, but he was smart enough to just go.
No, Edgar claimed the call dropped. I'll just wait for him to come back. He's probably just having technical problems.
Yeah. Well, when your standard is Kent Hovind, and these guys are dumber than that, but they even think they're dumber than Hovind, which is weird.
Yeah, well, they're superior to everyone else that knows a little bit of something, but when it comes to the Grand Master, fucking Senior Incarcerated himself, I can't explain it. I've not fallen down enough stairs to actually understand that. So let me go ahead and play this video.
I'm kicking your butt, Scholar. I don't care what you got. The only reason you're leaving comments right now is because I allow it. All right.
As if he needs to.
Why do they
allow
tell
anything.
True Empiricism he's not worth their time? Why does Aaron Ra tell Christians we're not worth his time? Okay, just give me a second here. Give me a second here, guys, because I gotta focus on what I'm gonna be saying here, and I got this troll here. I obviously don't have no mods here right now, so get lost, Skylar. I don't need you to watch my channel. Why don't you
Took all
unsub
the
to where
mods
you're
away.
at? All right. So anyway, let's
Not hard to
continue.
multi.
A lot of people are telling True
I understand that
Empiricism
he
he's
can't
not worth their time.
but
Aaron Ra is telling people that Christians are not worth his time. We got
What would be an interesting.
we got a whole bunch of
something
atheists
interesting to watch?
developing this mentality
If somebody got
that
into a
we
conversation
are not worth their time. That
to G-Man, what he does to other people, just completely ignore him and just start going off on tangents about certain keywords that come out of his mouth to see how he reacts.
People can hear me. People have tried that, but then he picks it up as trolling. Now, mind you, if you explain to him that, well, if I'm going on a tangent like you do, and it's acceptable for you to do that, why is it not acceptable for me to do that? He will actually get upset. Even if he acknowledges that that's exactly what the fuck he does, interrupting, going on tangents, just making loud obnoxious noises, he will acknowledge it. You can't do that. You're the one that can't. He can do that because he's a fucking child in a man's, a 17-year-old Russian gymnast body. But that, like, it is as crazy as that sounds. And I challenge folks, and actually I got to get in contact with Raging Atheist. The next time that you're in a discussion with him, just do the shit that he does. You'll probably last 5 minutes because he can't take what he does to people at all. I've done it to him for years. That's why he's so upset with me, because I treat him like he treats other people, and he doesn't like it. Fucking snowflake.
If we want to talk to them, we have to go to their platforms and we have to go to their YouTube channels and whatnot in order to be quote unquote worth their time. And there's a reason for it. And Brett Keem talked about it on his YouTube channel. The reason why they want, first and foremost, you got to understand something, Christians. Okay, I know you want to preach the gospel of Christ. I know you want to do that. And I know you want to share your faith, but we got to be intelligent about how we do this. We are not here to build the kingdom of Satan. They're only inviting you to their YouTube channels so they can profit off you. That's the only reason they want you to go on their YouTube channels, so they can profit off you. You may not know this, but when you go on their channels and they have more than 1,000 subscribers, they get these super chats, and the more disrespectful they are towards you, the more the donations they get from the people that are watching. The person that I just blocked knows it all too well because he benefits from that. He actually made a YouTube video telling people to not support a Brett King, to not support certain Christians. Why? Because he's already gotten what he needs, and that's his 1,000 subscribers, his viewership.
And I said all that shit and I'm fucking muted. God damn it. I keep forgetting. I need like a hotkey or something. Oof. So anyway, yeah. So Skylar has a reason. I'm going to quickly recap. Skylar has a reason not to like Keen. Everybody actually who has a channel has a reason not to, but specifically because of the shit Keen pulled recently with Skylar's channel. So yes, notice how Idiot here seems to forget that. Like he's going to pretend like he doesn't know that that's going on. He will omit facts in order to continue the current line of attack that he just like he did not mention that Holy Spackle wasn't an atheist, or the whole issue with him taking donations on behalf of somebody else. Every time you would hear him mention Holy Spackle, it would be directly after he'd mentioned the problem with these atheists, implying that she was one of them. And so that was done purposefully.
Well, it's not just that. He wants to talk about people making money and all this profitability, right? Yeah. Who paid for your last move? It was you, right?
Yeah.
When you moved across the country, yeah, you paid for that? Who paid for his last move?
Everybody else.
Oh, everybody the fuck else.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Who's making money here?
Yeah, I mean, it's like he had like people have talked to him about monetizing his own channel, and he says he's not here for filthy lucracy, as he likes to pronounce it. So that's on you, right?
Yeah.
But if people
he'd just rather eBay because
yeah.
it's easier for him to eBay and get money that way, because there's no keeping track of it. There's no super chats that come up in the chats for his fucking thing where people can see how much money he got that stream.
Hey Vincent, I got a question. How does super chats work?
Super chats are they're like bits on Twitch, basically.
Okay, so basically, do you have to do anything on your end to make super chats work on your channel when you're live?
Yes.
Yes. That's the problem.
You have to enable them, and YouTube gets a cut, and it takes 90 days.
Ah.
So he can get
see right there. You said it. It takes 90 days.
On Twitch, it's 45. I don't know that it's 90
okay.
for YouTube.
Let's just go with the 90 days. Okay.
But yeah.
So if you send him $5, he needs it now, today, not in 3 months. And on top of that, YouTube takes a percentage. So now you got to send him more than $5. But if you send it to him via PayPal, it's a direct transfer.
Yeah.
PayPal might take a little bit, but that's just the cost of doing business. You're not giving it to YouTube. And then on top of that, he can get it within 3 days.
No, PayPal charges the person that extra amount.
Right. Not him.
So you'll see, okay, you need to send $5 to this person. We're charging you X amount, and it all gets invoiced. But the problem with that is, on PayPal, if they're sending it to you like they're sending it to a business and they're not sending it to a friend, you have to pay taxes on that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as of right now, since he's got all these donations for his YouTube channel and stuff, that's all income.
Yeah.
Like the IRS would have a field day with that.
Oh, and since they're donations, for you to be tax-free, you have to have your tax status thing done up right.
You have to have,
and then that money has to go into an account for your YouTube channel. You can't go buy, I don't know, what would he buy? Hats and puppy paint?
You can't go move. But he could buy a new camera, he could buy computer equipment, he could do stuff like that.
And some puppy paint, some hats to make new hats, right?
Yeah, but it wouldn't pay like for food and stuff like that unless he was actually doing like a business lunch, and he would have to have receipts for that too.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to get into the fact that he's evading taxes just like, his boy Kent Hovind. Yeah, he could buy a bunch of stolen laptops too, that's true.
Yeah, but I think the difference here is the amount of money that Ken Hovind was evading taxes on.
Well, yeah, G-Man's not on that level.
And then, of course, Ken Hovind claimed, that's not my money, that's God's money. So you're stealing somebody else's money now?
Well, it's not just that. Kent Hovind had written letters to the IRS renouncing his American citizenship, and the IRS said, fuck you, that's not working. So he tried to say he wasn't an American citizen, but at the same time, he was also claiming his American citizenship. And then he structured his transactions in a way specifically to avoid the reporting requirement.
Yeah.
Because they had to report it the one time, he did it the other way. So the problem wasn't that he was he structured his transactions. Because if he'd done that for a legitimate purpose and not just to avoid the reporting requirement, it would have been fine. But he was actually doing it to avoid that reporting requirement. Anyways, we're way the fuck off topic.
Okay. Yep. So that he can e-bag on here and ask people for money on here all the time. You know what I mean? He's not the only one. There's a whole bunch of them, and I can name them all by name. I can name them all by name. Oh, Scholar, you might not want to watch this video, man. You ain't gonna see me be nice today, all right? Because you're one of the people that I'm talking about. These people. First of all, Scholar wouldn't even be Scholar if he never even came to G-Man versus the World. Neither would JD, neither would Drag, and a whole bunch of these other people and whatnot. Okay, they came to my channel. They wanted to get that 1,000 subs so that they can get super chats. Okay, and the only way anybody's gonna donate any money to these people on YouTube if you show up.
All right, so let me correct something that's hilarious. Like, this is fucking awesome. So I had my 1,000 subs before I was dealing with just like this idiot, like on that type of basis. Like, so the reason that my channel peaked was because of a YouTuber named Bald to Bits. If you've been around more than maybe 6 years, you know who that is. He gave me a shout out and gifted me well over 1,000 subs. So that's why I'm able to at least have like the 2.5 that I have now. It has nothing to do with like our specific interaction. That's later. So if you want to like kind of reference what's happened, G-Man, at least acknowledge the people who came before you who actually did something worthwhile.
Well, and GE was dealing with people who were way better than G-Man, like long before that.
Yeah, I guess he thinks that like people delete shit on their channels as much as his buddy's True and the other idiots.
Also, until what was it, 18 months ago, super chats didn't exist. like when he's talking about all this shit, super chats weren't a fucking thing. So I don't know what the fuck he's talking about, except for he wants to rewrite history to be a douche.
Like, that is actually really, I skipped right over that. Yeah, this is a new feature. Like, I started dealing with him back when you could do video responses to people. Like, that's like how long ago this was. And some people don't even remember the ability to do video responses.
Yeah.
Let me give a quick shout out to Kathleen Tanner's Transgender Reality here, folks. So if you're in Wolf King, if you're into this sort of thing, hey, there you go. Let me actually put this out here for those of you who are interested. That's the Christian y'all heard talking earlier. That she was in G-Man's chat before I went on vacation. So there you go.
I've just learned a new word.
Docking?
Painal.
That's new to you?
To be fair, I have.
Wow.
What is? Wait, I don't. Is that a word? That's a word.
It is now.
You poor naive
Painal?
fools.
What does that word mean?
That's when like
Painal,
Lexington Steel does somebody in the ass.
Oh, okay.
Yes, pain is it's a portmanteau of pain and anal.
Oh my god.
It's a real satisfying thing to just beat your meat to. That's what it is.
If you find women in pain, there you go.
I'm listening
am a
to this
sadist, so.
video that you're playing of G-Man. You know who it reminds me a bit of in my interaction with him? There's a pastor called Steven Anderson.
Yes.
Oh, G-Man is a fan of Steven Anderson, actually.
And he's just a horrible, horrible person. Like he's like encouraged his followers to go out and do violence and stuff like that. That's who G-Man. That's who all these internet people, him and Evolution Falls and Jim Batman. That's who they all remind me of.
At least a couple of people actually on the very outskirts of the community are actually like disciples of Steven Anderson and involved in the same group of churches, the New Independent Fundamental Baptists. and that was our buddy Ben the Baptist and that other guy, that other MP that I don't want to say his name, but not the cool MP, the other one.
Thank you, Julio Avalos, for subscribing.
But you know what I'm talking about, Greg.
Yeah, we're gonna lead him up.
I'm not saying his name. Nah, he doesn't need any attention.
No. So, anyway, let me play some of this.
On their YouTube channel, and they disrespect you. You have to be a creatard. That's another word for somebody to call you a retard, a retarded person. All right. You have to be looked upon as being uneducated.
Oh my God.
Doesn't matter how much schooling you have. It doesn't matter how much education you have. Doesn't matter what you specialize in. They have to present you. They have to present you as a.
But you are a creatard.
As some type of liar or something like that, or somebody who isn't benefiting society, and they have to prop themselves up as being somebody that is actually doing something for society.
That's not what that means. Like that whole everything about that like whole concept was potato.
But they only want you on their channel so they can laugh at you. Okay. Sometimes I wonder why Redline wants people to go to, why they want flat earthers to go to his YouTube channel. Why? So he can laugh at flat earthers, so he can make fun of flat earthers. It's not to try to change their minds about the science. So he can cuss them out, belittle them, and grow his.
So someone's feelings are hurt. I don't know if y'all picked up on that. There's a little bit of salt here.
Redline cucked it. We get.
Yeah. But the whole thing is like I'm not a fan of Redline in any way, shape, or form. But he wants to present the evidence to these people so they can look at it. That's what he does when he talks to a flat earther. It's like, will you look at this fucking evidence? Okay, well, if you're too stupid to understand the evidence, now I'm going to be a dick.
Yeah, so someone's in the chat. They're asking, who is this? Arthur Rhea. You must be new here. Hello, how are you? Damn, how fucking retarded is he? Very.
You have no idea.
Very. If you could think of probably the most moment that you've ever encountered, multiply that times, I don't know, infinity.
Think about a stack of blue barrels. They're all more intelligent than somebody.
So,
and he would be that dude that's dumber than them.
If you've never seen the result,
only has the ability to walk and talk.
You barely do that right. But if you've ever seen someone who's a victim of fetal alcohol syndrome, here you go, folks. This is what happens. Don't drink, women's, when you're fucking pregnant.
This is a man that's been hit by what? Like one bus and two buses and one car?
I think he's been hit multiple times, but it doesn't. I'm surprised he can walk halfway decently after that. But good luck. Someone's looking out for him. That's what it is.
He's also dumb enough to pick up baby skunks in the park.
That's my line, Vincent.
I know. That's why I got there first.
Yeah, so Arthur, we cannot put into words just how fucking retarded he is at all. And we could just give you instances of just pure but he will end up telling you something about himself. Like, I don't know, probably telling people that you got the flu. It burns when you pee and you think it's because of the flu. Of all the social awkwardness that surrounds statements like that. Completely oblivious.
I think my favorite was he pulled out his phone to Google something so he could get something from a creationist site so he could argue with the fucking display at the museum.
Yeah.
Like, dude, no, put your phone away. Put it the fuck up.
That is a big ass.
Yeah. So sorry, Vegeta's fapping, so y'all going to excuse him. So yeah, he's not keen on education as like formal education. So he seems to think that if you are a tradesman, that's more beneficial for society overall, which is weird because you ideally need a balance of tradesmen and people who have specialized formal education and certification. So it's strange. His conception of what like success is and what good things are, they're all centered around him. Like, because he knows that he can't sit and retain knowledge. He knows that. So, of course, he's going to have this weird aversion towards formal education. But for him, his like lackadaisical way that he conducts his trade, his barely being able to paint and put up drywall, that's somehow like more beneficial when like that's shit that any of us can do. Like my fucking like one of my professors, one of my former, was going to be PIs, he has been like a postdoc at like Harvard, just to give you an idea. Like that's some pretty good shit. But he's not above like rolling up his sleeves after Hurricane Harvey and like, you know, sweeping people's front porches and setting up drywall and, you know, replacing foundations and shit like that. Like other people, educated people can do this too. On the flip side, your dumbass can't do the shit that he can do. So anybody can do menial labor. Few people can do the shit that actually takes an education, and that's something that escapes him all the time. So that's he's in the Keen universe, where the more inept you are, the more skilled you are for whatever reason.
Hey, how's he gonna understand that when you use that many words?
Well, Drag, do you remember that shit when he was like painting and then a live chat with us, and like Hogtie literally was about to just lose his shit?
Oh
He
yeah.
couldn't even use the fucking paint roller right.
Yeah, he wouldn't even. It wasn't even the right type of roller, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Like what he was trying to paint, he didn't even have the right roller. I need to find that video. That was interesting because I didn't pick it up until after Hogtie said something, and it was like, oh yeah, no, he's going to be all day doing that, and then there's going to be those streaks where he's creating like seams, and he's not trying to like blend the strokes. So no technique. He has no stroke game, folks. He has no stroke game.
And also, usually when you roll on paint, you go vertically, and he was using the paint roller horizontally.
Yeah.
Just for the people watching the live stream, when you use a paint roller, you apply the paint in a W pattern, not an M, an E, or a 3. A W.
No,
that'll give you even coverage with no seams or streaks.
He was given eyes. He was given hyphens. Like there was just shit everywhere. Like, oh, this one looks like it needs a spot too. Huh? Let me just go over here too. Let me fucking contort my goddamn wrist this way and just yeah. He graduated from University of Phoenix and whatnot. No, he didn't. No.
He didn't graduate from anything. He got a like nutritional certificate from like random ass program at a college.
So Arthur, he said that he's gone to Fairleigh Dickinson, and then he alluded to going to Rutgers at some point. But for the degree or certification at Rutgers doesn't exist. I actually called them, and they had returned my call, and I think I played it live. Where it's like, yeah, we don't have those type of degrees here. So, yeah.
Well, they have a program that offers like basically a food handler's type certificate. But it's like a voc rehab kind of program that's done at Rutgers, but not like an accredited like university course.
Yeah, by food handler, he meant pizza delivery.
There you go. He used to claim that he had a business at one point. Did y'all remember him saying something like that? He held some type of business permit, and he had a business for, I think it was something to do with like a restaurateur, basically. This was a while ago. This is a long time ago.
Did he dox it?
No, he never gave. It was a restaurant. Sabella remembers. Yeah, he never gave a lot of details on it, which that's kind of one of my tip-offs that he just made that up. Because believe it or not, G-Man does lie quite a bit. If he's being vague, he's lying. Usually,
like the details that he didn't give about his wife or his daughter.
Yeah. The amazing rotating family that exists and doesn't exist, and there's one daughter that has autism, and there's a daughter with kids, and then there's a wife with kids, and it depends on what color the sky is today. You know, the overcast and all that. That gauges whether or not his family will be, not mentally handicapped or present, or I don't fucking know. Like, it's just, there's not so many ways I can say that this dude just lies, and it's about the weirdest shit in the world too. Just fucking lies. Oh my god. All right, let me play some more.
His brand here online. Now, let me say this before I go any further. I don't have a problem with people building their brands on here. I don't have no problem with people building their channels. You should have the freedom to build your channel any way you please. The only thing I disagree with is that I don't believe that we Christians should be going on your channel to be the butt of your jokes. What about the Non Sequitur show? Because a lot of us Christians are not doing hangouts on a regular basis, which is why a lot of you need to support Sister Cherry. She's on here on a regular basis, doing these hangouts, exposing these Hebrew Israelites. Check out Cat Malone. Check out G-Con when he's online. You don't have to watch shows like the Non Sequitur show where they're constantly making fun of your beliefs.
Just to let y'all know,
But they're constantly laughing at you.
I am actually subscribed to G Consciousness because that brother's passion. I don't agree with the fuck he's saying, but his passion is hilarious to me. I will actually sit down and listen to listen to him go in on certain folks because I might learn a little bit of something. But yeah, so I've listened to a bit of Vocab Malone and some of the folks from formerly Shield Squad and SOG. But that's kind of my guilty pleasure. I'll watch them every so often. But yeah, no, Sister Cherry, I've tried to sit down and this is even like after she called herself going off on me, which that was hilarious. But it's just kind of a screaming match between her and whoever she's talking to. Like there's not a lot of substance there. Like she's just angry and just yelling. And it's like if I wanted to hear that, I called my mother a whore and just put her on speakerphone to mute myself. Like that. There's no real anything gained from watching Sister Cherry. And this is my honest opinion. Like fuck all the bullshit about the shit that she was trying to say about me that she knew nothing about. Like there's just nothing there. Like I could see like people's drag, your channel's not much better. At least people are fucking entertained by the shit that I do. It's not even entertaining. It's just like, wow, cool. Thank you for living out that stereotype as an angry black woman. That's literally all you've done here is yell down somebody else. And it actually, ironically enough, it makes me kind of like sympathize with the black Hebrew Israelite women that she's speaking to because they're talking to her. They're calm. Like, like, sister, are you okay? Hey, it's just like indicating that there's no need for you to be this loud ignorant at all. And she has no compunction about that whatsoever. So that tells me that she probably wasn't raised around the right people. But I digress. Some of the people that this retard mentioned are actually entertaining. Some of them do actually know a bit about the Bible. And I watched them way before I watched his ass because he don't know shit.
You because of what you believe and profiting off of it. Steve McRae treats that as a full-time job of disrespecting you while trying to get you to be a guest on here so they can disrespect you and make money off of it. And Brett Keane briefly talked about this. He said that that it's political, okay, and he was going into things really changed here online when they knew they can get paid for the videos that they were making, and they know that atheists like a good video where they can try to make fun of us. If you type in XX0054 on YouTube or type in G-Man on YouTube, you'll see how many different video clips of them where they deliberately, on purpose, and instigated me getting angry, took that little clip out to try to make me look like a crazy.
No, that's a mischaracterization as a motherfucker. Because every time he got pissed off, that was all him.
You notice how he told that story. You notice like, if you just type in this name, right? There's this screen name, and then you find instances of where they've instigated, they've made me mad, and they took that out, and they made me out to be the bad guy, and it's like you are a grown fucking man. Are you not in control of your fucking emotions? Like
obviously not. But at the same time, like if you type in G-Man into YouTube right now, you know what the first thing that you get? The dude, the G-Man from like Half-Life or whatever.
Shit, it's changed. Now it's some other YouTuber who has like I think like 100,000 subs.
You get like all kinds of other fucking shit that's not that fucking retard. So he's just straight up lying because the only reason he sees all the shit involving him is because his analytics involve his channel. So anytime something involves something from his channel, it shows up for him. Of course, I don't expect him to understand that because he can't spell analytics. So
I'm gonna put what comes up at one of my top searches. It changes on mine because I have weird search terms of shit. So let me put in. Where did I put it? There it is.
You know what? Why don't you guys invite me here so that this guy can just overtalk me and not let me say anything?
You're trying to overtalk him at the same time.
You don't want to say here. That's
You've been
fine.
doing the same thing at the same time.
I got some choice words for you on my main channel, dude. You know what you're talking about. The point is, this is
It gets on to where before I go, can I just ask G-Man about the safe that he found?
Can I respond, please, guys?
Let's
Right, I gotta
let
go,
you
guys.
respond. Yes.
I just wanted to say I had to step out for a second because somebody came over and knocked on the door. So I did miss a good portion of what you guys were saying. But it sounded like towards the tail end of what I caught, you guys were speaking about the law and the New Testament. Am I getting that right? Maybe
Well,
laws you got away with?
I wanted to interrupt for just a second because I could have sworn that's what I fucking thought. That's what I motherfucking thought. Now, what did I fucking tell him ages ago? Don't talk shit to people or I will find you. I'm not sure what part of that he doesn't seem to understand. But G-Man, this is only the beginning. So you can take your butthurt ass back to your channel because I'm going in on your ass double now. If you think your ass now, you can't.
Drag, what is this?
Oh, I've been watching. I've been having a grand old time. A grand old time.
Just exhibited some of that bitch made Kyle was talking
So
about.
yes, I coined hashtag bitchmade for a fucking reason. For a goddamn reason. It's because
my phone going
bitches
off.
like that. That's why. So, hi y'all, I'm Dragon.
Hey, how you doing?
There we go. That's what comes up when I search his name quite often. So for those of you who've never seen, because I love when he claims I've never run from anybody, and then that's on the Geek Room show, and people saw that live. So I don't know what to say other than proof's in the pudding.
Crazy person on here, but it backfired on them because when people get to meet me and they get to talk to me and they get to see the full video the full video that they took the clip out of, they can say, well, wait a minute, he wouldn't have did that if you wouldn't have instigated him. He wouldn't have said that had you not kept pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. And it's just helped me grow here online. It hasn't hurt me at all because I don't let that kind of stuff bother me anymore.
Bye.
And you all seen what I just recently went through. This is every year on YouTube, guys. If it ain't with Shanny, it's with somebody else here online. Every single year, they're just trying to get their laughs off. They don't care how many people they got to hurt. And these are the same people that's arguing that they're good people. These are the same people arguing that they are good people. Okay?
Did he forget that you allegedly said you're immoral?
People that's doing
Because I watched that recently.
You all know what I'm talking about. They go behind.
He can't find a time where I've said that I'm a good person or I'm a moral person. I've actually said the exact fucking opposite, that I'm not a good person. But he'll keep telling people that, oh, that's what they're saying. No, I've never, I challenge, G-Man, I will pay you whatever I get out of Super Chat, whatever I get out of fucking Patreon, whatever the shit is. I will pay, if you can find a video where I said that I'm a good person, specifically, and the context is me comparing myself to you. That, and I'm pretty sure that exists somewhere, but find it.
I watched one recently where it was from 10 months ago, where there was an interaction between the two of you, and you had said, you asked him, who says I'm a moral person? And then he lost his shit and left. And then he paraded around for the next 2.5 weeks about how you said you're immoral. And A, that's not a true dichotomy. You can be amoral and not be immoral. But B, you never actually said you were immoral. But at the same time, in that same video, he's talking about how much he loves Blue and how she should talk you into taking down that video.
Oh yeah. Oh
Or
yeah.
at
What
least
was
ending
this? What
her
was
husband.
this? What was this? Where? Where
That
was
was about-
this?
That was about 10 months ago.
I don't remember that.
Drag has the review that he did of that video on his channel, because I was actually watching the Drag review of that video and not watching it on G-Man's channel. Because I don't watch him, because he's irrelevant.
Yeah, he says something about he can't stop masturbating to your picture or something like that.
Oh yeah. I remember
For
that
10
one.
hours. For 10 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
All right, let me play. I
But
actually.
he makes things up. But he makes things up in his own head anyway, doesn't he? Because wasn't there the thing where he said that Steve McRae said you can be an atheist and still believe in God? Do you remember? And I don't
Yeah.
think Steve McRae ever said that. He
Yeah,
didn't say
no,
that.
and I remember that, and I asked, I said, so what video did Steve say that in? Because it's like I've never heard Steve say that, but
Yeah.
I might have been wrong. You better tell him. You better recant. You know, I was like, one thing, you can't spell recant. Secondly, I've never heard Steve actually say that in any context, in any way, shape, or form.
Well, it was because, like, any sane person would agree that if somebody wants to call the tree outside their fucking window God, okay, the tree fucking exists.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't make it God. But yeah, the actual fucking tree that's there is a physical fucking object that exists. If they want to revere it as a god, I'm not going to tell them they can't. But because the tree fucking exists, therefore there's a god, and you can't be an atheist.
Yeah, because someone else refers to other objects as gods, that other people can't be. Like, it was so weird and convoluted that because he thought that he could redefine words for other people and then they apply. Like, that's really what it came down to. And telling him, well, G-Man, if I redefine Christian, I can define you out of being a Christian. Do you get that? Well, yeah, but that's your... Yes, that's right. That's my definition. No one's obligated to take it. Okay, now, same way, just... Oh, no, but people do consider it God. Like, no, okay. Am I other people? No. Okay, did I say that? No. Then what the fuck are you talking about, retard? And he's just still... Because you're trying to... I didn't realize I was setting up something that's analogous to something else. And he does not understand analogies at all. I keep telling people this. I keep telling y'all, he does not get them. He keeps saying that he does. If you listen to when he makes analogies, he doesn't understand them. That's why they never make any sense.
Arcane couldn't understand the difference between a noun and a verb, and G-Man admits that Arcane is smarter than him, so I don't even know where the fuck to start.
That's a low bar. That's being the tallest midget.
Yeah, G-Man thinks an analogy is a disease you catch on your bum.
that may be what's wrong with his dick.
That's what happens when you go fuck yourself too many times. Let me play this.
Claiming they was moral people. I was in a hospital because there's some issues with my back, and some of them said I deserve worse than being in a hospital.
No, he's not getting away with that one. He had a fucking UTI. He let his dick get so dirty that it fucking paralyzed his ass.
Boy.
He did not have shit wrong with his back. He had a fucking dirty dick.
I love the retelling of these stories. Like, it's like, no, motherfucker, no.
It's the same bullshit that Ronnie does, where like all of a sudden history gets rewritten, and all of the shit that he may have done wrong is just fucking gone.
So
so he had a back problem, and then what did he do? Who did he call?
we had no. Hold on. We have to go back for there's new people. There are new people. Okay, we keep referencing dirty dicks. It's not just something we made up. He calls. Get this. One day he calls two atheists. Now, why he would call people? He had been just making videos too about how evil atheists are. Like, just making videos. The first people he calls when he's in medical issue, he's having medical problems, are atheists. Two, as a matter of fact. So he calls MP, multiple personalities, Nate Brody, what have you, and he calls Hanazabi. All right. Now, again, calling two atheists because he physically can't get off the ground. He had to call a neighbor from downstairs to assist him. As it turns out, folks, my man ended up having a UTI so bad that he thought he was having back issues. Needless to say, some hygiene issues were discussed that were not remembered, and parts of the story were omitted because he kept telling people it was a back problem because he knows that he's having back pain. Well, that wasn't his back necessarily; those were his kidneys. His kidneys were in pain, and the pain radiated, so it made it seem like it was a back issue. But even after taking the antibiotics, even after being educated on what was going on with his own body, he's still telling people that it was back pain. No, G-Man, you had a UTI, and you're so much of a bitch that you collapsed and could not get up because of the pain. That's what happened, okay? So it's hard to lie when you call two people there who are also witnesses and who also help pay for your medical expenses. That you kind of lose that little bit of privacy there. That's a part of why, you know, HIPAA is kind of important, but you shared it willingly, so it's no longer applicable. Anyway.
No, Drag. It definitely was back pain. He put his back out, throwing the blue barrels around at work.
Yeah.
He twisted it funny, and then he collapsed in the pain because it was so bad.
That's what happened.
He just happened to have a dirty dick too that day.
So from that point forth, we start calling him Dirty Dick Dan. Because again, even with his recent admission, he thought that the flu would give you burning urine. That's not one of the symptoms of the flu. It's he has another UTI, and he
also described it as brown and whatnot too.
Yeah, if your urine is brown, folks, that's not good. You probably have some blood in your urine.
Dear, drink some water, for God's sake.
Yeah, you definitely need, like, if it's starting to be dark yellow, you need to drink water. But if it's brown, probably blood, definitely need to drink water. But this is the health guru here who's going to tell you how to take vitamin B17 and beat cancer. You can't even keep his own dick clean. but hey, we're the ones that need to get our lives straight. He is the example that all of us should live by. For whatever reason. This is why I laugh when people take, like, the people, like just like all bullshit aside, because I know, like, a part of my viewers are his fans.
I got a question here.
Go for it.
When he got this UTI, was he training for a marathon?
I think he was, actually. I want to say that was.
Yes, he was.
So it was probably from, training for your marathon, not taking a shower and washing yourself off when you're done, and then on top of that, being dehydrated.
And there was probably a lot of cat shit around his apartment now.
Well, let's not bring Betty into this, okay?
Well, poor Betty's dead, so,
Well, we have no proof and evidence of that yet. We have no body, no murder, okay?
I think so, though.
He could have taken it with him.
So someone light a candle for Betty here. We'll have a vigil one day.
My thing, it's always interesting. Like, we make jokes about the shit, but he cannot seem to keep himself in good medical order, all while chastising people on, like, health science. Like, the irony there for me is just thick. It's super thick.
It's like if he's got money to spend on, what is that fucking thing? Vitamin what? B17? Oh, it's not a vitamin, but B17?
There's vitamin B17, which is amygdalin.
But he can't drink water.
He's got money to pay his quote unquote ministry bill, which is his fucking,
Or buying subs. Buying subs and buying train fare to go and chase down black guys in New York. That's fine, but go and drink a glass of water and get some shower gel and just clean yourself.
You would think that's a priority, but no. Keeping in contact with the person who's giving you a house too would kind of be a priority as well. But we see that even when he's giving free stuff, he doesn't know how to act. So that's a thing.
It's like the world is upside down. It's upside down from topsy turvy.
If I can bring up something from the Wayback Machine here, who paid to get his laptop fixed a couple of years ago?
Wasn't that Shadow Heathens?
Didn't you send him some money for his laptop?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Actually, no, you're right. I sent them $20, I think, on a PayPal because he was having some issues with that. Yeah, so I did actually give him money.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, like, pretty much everybody here has given him money in a way, shape, or form, for the most part.
Yeah, this happened years ago, folks. Years and years and years ago. This is before he got really bad. Like, his recent bitch assness was within the last, I would say, 3 years or so that he's really turned up the malice. because he didn't used to be this. He used to just be a lost cow. We knew that there's something wrong with him, but the maliciousness really started, I want to say 3.5 years ago. So I would never do that now.
It got turned way the fuck up after the New York trip, where, you know, we bought him food and actually had a good time with him. And we're civil because, you know, we were all raised by actual people and we know how to be civil to another human being.
Yeah, we should have took him to a fucking Vietnamese tea house.
You should have just pushed his ass into traffic where he wanted to race people.
Greg, go look in the Dragoon chat on Discord.
Well played. Yeah.
Clean your penis, Wiki.
For the people outside in the outside chat, if you go search on wikihow.com, you will find an article on how to clean your penis.
Yep.
That's only for men though, to be fair.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're a woman and you're cleaning your penis, there's probably some issues there.
It's probably
Well,
probably
let's
an
not
issue.
forget that there are women with penises. So.
There are.
Arthur Reyes says, I love how G-Man says he's not a bum because he's training for a marathon. That's like Brett Keane saying he's in the training to test mattresses. So that's about the same.
That's like Brett Keane saying all of his teeth fell out so he could test dentures, you know?
Yeah.
He has not one single tooth that's actually real in his fucking head.
That's just nasty. Like he's not that much older than me.
Where's that video of Brett Keane gumming a hamburger?
Yeah, that he did for TJ, because TJ said he'd give him like something like $5,000 if he did it.
No, 1,000.
Was it $1,000?
Yeah, just $1,000.
The man will sell himself for $1,000 and a Whopper.
Yeah, what happened is like TJ paid him on Patreon because he couldn't trust Brett to give him it to his PayPal because he didn't want his information. And what happened was that like a few dollars or a few cents got lost, and he started throwing a bitch fit saying, TJ didn't pay me exactly $1,000. This is karma.
Well, no, Patreon takes a cut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, but
they take it from you, not from the sender.
Yeah.
So therefore, TJ did not send Brett Keane $1,000. Like it's just him being dumb.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's they sent him, what was it, like $1,000 to do the episode because they paid him to show up on the Drunken Peasants, and then they said they'd pay him extra money for the hamburger thing, and he did that and he paid that. But Brett's just here for the drama. That's what Brett wants.
Oh yeah.
Some of them were saying things like, I deserved a bullet in my head.
Wait. Isn't that something
We
that
went
he
from
said
debating
to
whether or
you
not
before?
God existed. We went from debating about whether or not evolution was true. We went from debating all these different things to making it so personal that now they want to touch your life. And I've been telling you guys this on the internet for years.
Hold up.
Good grief.
Who went there first? Because he doesn't mention that. Who went there first? Every fucking time it's gotten personal, he's gone there first. Every goddamn time.
It's really interesting how he skips, like, because he could say, well, this person instigated him and then he had to respond in a certain way. But now it's, now everything has just gotten personal all of a sudden. I don't know how. It's not the fact that he's instigated people and then gotten that reaction. You see how that differs? How when he told that story, the instigation completely was askewed because it was him who instigated it. That's very interesting. Now, I want Antoine, if you're nasty, to really answer me this. Riddle me this, motherfucker. Please tell me. Now, how is it that in the first story, it's everyone else's responsibility to dance around on eggshells around his sensitive ass, but he gets to do and say as he pleases? But in this scenario where he's forgetting that it was him who instigated other people to do this, How is he also absolved from responsibility? Please tell me what Bible verse I need to read to understand why y'all have y'all's head up this man's ass. Because I'm not seeing it at all, ever.
If Twan's going to be answering stuff, I want to hear him defend, G-Man threatened people's kids.
Oh, I would love to hear that, please. Because one of the search results is that video, and it's quite clear what it is.
Well, and it's not just your kid, because he threatened JD's kids too.
Yes.
Well, some of the top searches, I think, for G-Man, if Antoine, if you're nasty, wants to Google, I'm sure he's probably searched. He must have searched for him. It's like, isn't there the Steve McRae one, like G-Man's Epic Meltdown? That's one of the top ones, isn't it?
It's one of the ones with the most views, yeah.
Yeah, and then you've got the one that Laura posted, that G-Man the Doc Dropout, or what? That one that's got a hell of a lot of views. So either Antoine, if you're nasty, is blind, or he's just not doing his due diligence.
They never do their due diligence.
No, to be fair, because why wouldn't you? But you should. If you're defending somebody, you need to get a rounded picture of who they are.
But I kind of already know the response, because I don't think that he's actually interested in learning much of anything. That's my impression of him. But if we're going to talk about who's a real Christian and who's not, there's a reason he's been kicked out of Christian groups. There's a reason he flies solo. There's a reason he doesn't have a church to go to, like an actual church. Because this isn't about the faith. This isn't about the Bible. This isn't about God or Jesus. This is about him. This has always been about him. Ever since you first go back and you listen to the videos of him, at the beginning, completely different person. If you listen to the videos, he's sticking to the gospel. It's not about him. After he's starting to get noticed by people as being a lost cow, unbeknownst to him, that's when it slowly became about him.
There was one person that once said, it all changed when Jesus came off the hat and G-Man went on.
Yeah, it's true.
And I say that because he used to have the puff paint hats, and they all had, wink by faith or trust in Jesus or whatever on them. But
the best one was Jesus Ruiz.
Yeah, Jesus Ruiz. And then he had the hat that just had, like, G-Man on it. After he went through, like, 2 of the puff paint ones or something. And that's when shit started changing, because he was on the Drunken Peasants every couple of weeks. And he was just there because he was lazy as fuck. And they even got tired of him.
So Ali Fox 3, the video that you're referring to, and those of you who are watching this later, Ali Fox says, there's a video out there somewhere of 2 Christians calling him out, and it's hilarious. Bible Thumping Wingnut, I think. Yes, Bible Thumping Wingnut and Lynn Pettis, Matthew 4:19, as he's known, called G-Man out because G-Man, for whatever reason, ended up reading a verse in the Bible about a man not being able to conceive a child, so he used the maidservant. And so he interpreted this as, you can cheat on your wife as long as she says it's okay. And he was actually teaching people this for quite some time. And then what he normally does is, people who don't agree with him are obviously not Christian. So he ended up calling out every, literate fucking Christian out there who told him, no, you idiot, that's not what that says. And he burned so many bridges. So many bridges. And
when Bible Thumping Wingnut doesn't want to talk to somebody, they'll literally say, oh, well, you're not intellectual enough for us. If you just want to troll, you should go hang out with G-Man.
Like that's I've actually heard them say that. Like, that's sad, but
they use him as a fucking insult because they think he's that dumb. And those are other Christians.
Yeah, and he still references them too. It's sad. Like, he's aware that they don't consider him a real Christian. He knows that they think that he's a clown, which they're not wrong about that. But he doesn't have many other people to use to put on a pedestal, so he will. He'll be their whipping boy and take his licks because he put himself in that position. Which I think, as a good pet, you should always know where your master is, and I applaud G-Man for knowing who his master is and acting accordingly.
Didn't Brett Keane say to him recently that he wanted nothing to do with him, but G-Man is still bigging Brett Keane up?
Oh yeah.
Didn't Brett Keane say, I don't want to be your moderator, don't contact me in this way, and
Well,
blah blah blah?
Yeah, to that extent, how much of a like scummy fuckbag do you have to be for Brett fucking Keane to go, nah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's still bigging Brett Keane up. It's like he's still like.
Because Brett's back and Brett has more subscribers than him because Brett is also a lulz cow. So
I was just reminded the other day because I was talking to my daughter about my nan's cat. My nan had a cat called Toby, and then it just made me laugh. If anybody gets the reference,
Roots.
She really did. She really did. She had it, and as soon as I said that to my daughter, I said, "Oh, my nan had a cat called Toby," and it was like, "Oh," it's like, okay. I know somebody else that's called Toby, but not quite.
It's a fitting. I think it's a fitting name given his chosen position in life and how he's decided he wants to behave. Then your name is Toby.
I don't know if you caught it in this video, Drag, but like 5 minutes or so before we were listening right now, he was talking about how people were attacking Shanny and stuff. So apparently he's back to sucking her dick.
Well, yeah, I'm not surprised.
I guess after he was gonna sue her and she owed him $20,000 or whatever, they're cooling him out.
Yeah, that's just going to be a cycle. Like no one's really attacking Shanny. Like people leaving Shanny alone. I've not said anything about Shanny. It's she'll bite my head off for the next month and a half, and then she'll want to be friends again. And it's like, Shanny, I'm being the same motherfucker I'm always been. You the ones who's changing. So I don't part of me wants to give Shanny a hug because she is her mental illness is definitely her master. Like it's not weed. It's whatever. Not by fucking what is it that she has? Borderline personality disorder, whatever the fuck. Like that's really really kicking her ass, and I think that the fact that she's not getting the needed therapy for that is what's exacerbating it. But I'm not mad at her when she lashes out at me because that's it is what it is, Shanny more than likely wants a bite of your dick. Thank you, Albot. Fuck you, by the way. Sheshe, motherfucker. Sheshe, and fuck you in Cantonese. So, no. But it's... he said, let's see, Mr. Pluto says he's recently said that he's monitoring Scranton and will come back screaming into that town if he hears Shanny or Rev appear. So wait, so you're going to go back to the same place that you deem racist, screaming and yelling at the white folks who live there. That's an excellent fucking idea, my man. You should, I'm encouraging you. Thumbs the fuck up. Go do that. Get your dumb ass arrested, you dumb motherfucker. That's I can't for the life of me understand why he thinks that.
All I know is he do it in a live hangout, and that would end up on World Star when his dumb ass got tased.
Oh man, I would hope so. I would hope someone would film it. I hope he would, so we can laugh at him. Please do that, G-Man. Please do. But anyway, let me play this fucking video.
About these people, it ain't like they can pretend like this stuff doesn't happen, because the very people that's saying that they don't do it are the people that's doing it. You all know what I'm talking about. They go behind the scenes, they create rumors, and they're trying to create they're trying to get us to fight with each other and try to get us to not support each other. Meanwhile, they're growing their brands, and atheism is spreading here on the internet. You got to wake up and pay attention to what's going on here. They only want you on their YouTube channel so that they can make money. Okay? On purpose, I challenge JD Kane to a debate, Dragnut to a debate, Dragnot to a debate. Because if I don't say that, he'll claim I don't know how to say it.
You don't.
And I challenged who was the other person? Kyle to a debate. The only person that told me that they would have to see about their schedule was JD Kane.
Didn't JD tell him to fuck off?
So I was the one who delivered that message, and JD he can't read between the lines. So no, JD's going to keep him in limbo, and he still thinks he's going to get an answer.
God. I forgot. He is that dumb. You're right. He is that stupid.
He definitely, yeah, he does watch. Yes, he does. I told y'all think I'm kidding when I say, "Hey, G-Man, how you doing? I know you're watching." I know he watches it. I know when him and True. I haven't looked at it yet. I don't ever look unless y'all tell me. I don't look at that shit. I really don't.
That thumbs down that he always gets because it wasn't there earlier.
Yeah, oh no, he's definitely watching now. He's a little salty. He can only take about 5 direct insults and then he just kind of stops. So you gotta space him out.
He can watch me on Twitch and fucking talk shit in my chat. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I'm thinking about going live on Twitch maybe a little bit later. I don't know. I'm still not.
You got that link I sent you, right?
Yeah, in Discord?
Yeah.
Hold on. Where? Dragoon
Like
chat?
it was actual PM.
Oh, it's a DM? Oh. Hold on. Oh, cool. Yes. Okay, cool. Yeah. I got it. I see it.
Okay.
Yeah, you definitely sent that to me when I was intoxicated. So yeah,
I did, and that's why I said for when you get back.
Yeah, I did not even remember it until I just now saw it. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's also for Mrs. Drag because she can use that. She should be able to use that stream too.
Okay. Yeah. We'll. I think we might stream something a little bit later. It depends on how she's feeling. So we still owe folks a hangout with just us. And we give people like the story of how we got together and the actual dynamics of our relationship. Since
It's actually always really good to watch.
Yeah, I forgot where we left off. I'm like, we'll just redo it. It's not, Yeah. Anyway.
Other ones, I have to go on their platform. I have to go on the Drunken Peasants. I have to go on the Non Sequitur show. I have to go on the Three Heathens, so that they can profit off of muting me and kicking me out the room unfairly and not answering none of my questions, so that they can get super chats and make AdSense money with that stuff. That's the only reason they do it, because if they couldn't profit off of what they were doing, a lot of atheists wouldn't be here on the internet making videos. A lot of them would stop making YouTube videos.
What's weird is that I've not had him in my Hangouts and I don't know how many months. Like, it's probably been even a year now. And that hasn't really affected any potential revenues that I've ever got from him. Somebody donated when we were live in Sam's apartment and was just wanting us to do a bunch of gay shit. I don't know, but that was Reese. Yeah, it was Reese. So G-Man was not I think we laughed at some of G-Man's quotes and that was the extent of it. But he wasn't in there. So when he says shit like this, it's funny. It's funny, but it's not true, my man. It's not true. Sorry.
You know what else it also isn't?
What?
It isn't wrong in of itself.
That's right. It's not wrong in and around it. It's yeah.
Oh no, he always pronounces it wrong, so it's in of itself.
Yeah, I've forgotten the right way to say it, so I just stopped because he's now ruined that phrase for me for life. I can't stop because I'm always going to second guess myself. Am I saying it to be funny, or am I trying to actually say it? So I'm like, nope, just going to avoid it. Can't.
The proper way to say it is end and of itself.
And end and around itself and whatnot.
There you go.
If the disrespectful ones couldn't make money no more. You think Jacqueline Glenn would be doing this if she wasn't making no money? Do you honestly believe that the Amazing Atheist would be on here if he wasn't making no money? Do you honestly believe that the Non Sequitur show would be going on the way it's going if they wasn't making something? No, none of them shows will be around because they're not passionate about what they believe.
They're very passionate about what they do and what they believe.
They're not passionate
People
about
are
what
on
they believe.
YouTube to make
So when you see a
money.
YouTube video where somebody is saying G-Man exposed, it's not because they want to go after my beliefs or anything like that, or they want to make a world of.
He's upset about my series, G-Man Exposed. Oh, he's still mad about that.
Yeah, that was actually one of the ones I was watching.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know what he's referencing, I made an entire series called G-Man Exposed, and every day there was a video exposing this dude, and it was he lost legitimate sleep over this series. And
Yeah, that's why you stopped.
Yeah, because it's like people were messaging me saying, "Man, this is too much." I was like, "Yeah, I agree. And I was starting to get a headache too. I was like, man, listen to this retard every morning and doing like a 2 to 3 hour fucking breakdown of his bullshit. Like, cause I actually had to have like clips lined up, like timestamps and references and shit. Like, it took a lot more work than I wanted to put into that. But yeah, no. People,
I enjoyed that. It was like 2 o'clock every afternoon. There was something happening. That was brilliant. I loved it. Summer of G-Man was good.
Yeah, no, it was a good series, but man, like, he was upset that I made the series and that people enjoyed it so much that they donated money to see more of it. So, like, that bothered him for whatever reason.
That bothered the fuck out of him. But I mean, at the same time, like, if he wasn't such a shitty person, it would have never happened.
Thank you. Like, that's the thing that it's let's say, okay, if somebody were to make a fucking, let's say I was watching people's videos or doing reviews and I started making some really effeminate poses and postures and shit like that, and I just start getting in these positions and make it a little bit questionable.
Picture of Ronnie and get it over
and so what would be easier? Me, like, just stop like making all these gestures and shit and these poses, or just not come online at all? Like, that's like it's the decision making of some of these folks really baffle me. It's like, to me, it'd be easier just to stop making gay ass poses. But no, I'm gonna keep making gay ass poses. I'm just gonna people just are not going to see them. Like, this is the same way too. If he was upset with me exposing him, don't give me anything to expose. Like, perfect example. I called it right before, like, this last time when he was telling people that he was going to be homeless. That was a lie. And I called it before he even set up the lie. I said, I'm going to catch him in a lie, folks. Watch. I'd already been in contact with Doc Savage. We'd already discussed what the offer was and what G-Man understood the offer to be. Then not even the next day, he comments toward me making that video. So he knew I'd already made the video and was upset. And so he still decided he was going to lie anyway. And to which, again, I expose a lie. And he gets upset. So,
well, but then people were stupid enough to actually give him money.
Yeah, like, he knew. He knew people
I'm not
don't
going
believe
to say
him.
that David Weizer's a fucking moron, but yeah.
What the fuck did she just say? Oh, my God.
Do you want to know?
No. I'm going to have to explain what I'm looking at when we get off air. My God. God damn it, white people.
Yeah. Sorry about that one.
Oh, God, that was nasty. Holy shit. That gave me pause. Holy fuck. Yeah, so, Jesus. Yeah, so, like, he knew people were going to fall for it. He knew that he could lie to people and tell them he was going to be home, which again, folks, was a lie for a few reasons. Very quickly, you can't just kick out someone after they've stayed. I think MP said it was a week or 2 weeks or something like that. Was it?
It depends on the state, but I believe in PA it's a month.
Okay, so a month. So he had been staying in that residence for well over a month. No one could kick him out. I think they had to give him at least 30 days to leave the premises. So he had a good 30 days to leave easily, and he even acknowledged that. So for one, so I'm going to be homeless. That was a lie because he still had a place to stay. Okay, so the fact that he didn't have anything lined up currently would have been the truth. So it's not that I'm going to be homeless. Is that if he was like on his second to last day that he's legally allotted and he didn't have anything lined up, then that would be the truth. But that still wasn't the fucking truth, because Doc Savage had already offered him, upon him using all the days that he could stay wherever he currently was, Doc Savage was going to pay him up to $500 for room and board, and as well as groceries. Now, the issue is Doc Savage wasn't just going to give him money, because we know what happens when you just give G-Man money. We know what happens.
It's all shit that's not his phone bill.
Right. Well, this whole issue was predicated on the fact that he misused funds, and not to mention his previous, just not even like a month or two before that, of him mishandling someone else's funds. So, don't give him any money. If you're concerned about where that money's going to go and the transparency with that, don't give him any money. That's why I tell folks, you know exactly where your fucking money's going. I'm paying Mrs. Drag's fucking like car, the gas, and taking her ass out to eat. That's where that money's going. But anyway, he decides that he doesn't want that offer, but he does want people just to give to him because he will find a place and he will find a way to utilize that money, even though what he told people was an absolute lie. He wasn't going to be homeless at any point in time.
Well, and then he needed a fucking heater as well.
Right.
Like for the new fucking place.
So it's like he played up a good game, being out there in the cold and putting the lighter fluid, or I think it was like the isopropyl alcohol.
Alcohol.
Yeah, it was the alcohol in the can, and showing that like he did a good job playing that up for people. But he was lying to y'all again. Like this is what he does. He lies to people constantly.
Well, and this is a dude who had like, what was it, $1,200 or some shit to debate Aaron Raw in a fucking shoebox.
Right. So
Then went to the fucking hospital, and all of a sudden he needs more fucking money because he has to pay this medical bill.
Right. And it's amazing because you hear him talk about those savings when he got to fucking PA. So it's like, hold on. So the savings that you had previously referenced for your dirt bait with Matt Dillahunty, that disappeared when you had your back pain, but the savings somehow reappeared within months of you moving into the new place that you supposedly poured into this project. That's really, really weird. That's strange.
I mean, I can't say what happened with the roof. I can't say that there was a legitimate problem with the roof because there was a permit issued by the freaking city, county government for a roof repair permit. But I can't say what the extent of that was or anything like that. So I don't know if he went through savings or not. But if roof repairs needed to happen on a house that I was staying at, and I didn't own the motherfucker, you know who'd be paying for that? The fucking
building
landlord.
owner.
Yeah, the person who owns the goddamn building. It wasn't me. Let's get back
They want to
to
make the world a better place because they want to make money. Expect at least 2 videos where they're gonna say, "Well, G-Man, we're gonna prove you wrong. I'll make a video. It's not gonna be monetized, and I'm not gonna accept no donations." Come on, man, go play that game with somebody else. I know what you're doing behind the scenes. They got ads playing on their videos, and they collect Patreon money. They do fundraisers on Discord, acting like nobody can create a sock account to hear what they're actually saying about me. You understand what I'm saying? These people are not very smart at all
The fuck?
when it comes to those kind of things and whatnot. You know what I mean? They think that it's only atheists listening to them. No, I'm not. I'll tune into their channels every now and then and see what they're saying. But what I find to be really disrespectful is, true
Is he saying that
empiricism's not worth my time.
he's tuning
But 2
into
years
your
ago,
Discord?
you practically
That-
begged
or
to
he's
debate.
got somebody in this Discord.
He claims, yeah. So he doesn't understand how this is weird, right? And this is what I'm calling bullshit. Now listen to this, folks. Listen to what he's saying. No one can make they think that no one can make a sock account and come in and listen to their conversations about what's going on. Now, mind you, folks, he has no idea how Discords are set up. He could even set up his own Discord, but somehow he knows how to stealthily create a sock account and then gain access to channels where people would be talking about this sort of thing. It's not going to happen in this Discord because of the way it's set up. And because people are actually, competent and know how to set roles, he would never be able to listen to some of the shit that we talk about. Just like if you look in the Discord where we are right now, there's a lock on it. And for people we don't know, they don't get the role to have access to any of that stuff. They can't even see it, much less. They can see general chat, and they can see, I think, Muzak, and I think there's a general voice chat that no one really goes in. Because if you have the Dragoon status, then, well, fuck. There's no reason for you to go in there. That's only for people who are just coming in and saying whatever, and they're not really paying attention. They're not really, They're not really participating, right, in this Discord. So we can tell who's who right easily from their role. But he doesn't know anything about that. So no, he's not listening to anything in this Discord because he doesn't have access to it. People who have the Dragoon stats have been verified as people we know. So
I mean, we totally didn't have some, morning good bitch boy or something around, like, begging to get the Dragoon role so that he could actually talk to fucking people because nobody wanted to talk to his ass.
Bitch boy.
that's if y'all were folks, it is Pledge Week. Thank you, Javier Jar. Yes, it is Pledge Week. I'm going to get a bot to continue to put out the Cash Me app with saying it's Pledge Week just because.
And you can do that through timers on Streamlabs.
Oh, I think I was playing with that earlier. Chat bot enabled. Let me see commands.
Yeah, there's one that says timers.
Add timer. Name a timer. I'm going to name it It's Pledge Week. And then the phrase.
Use this Pledge Week, folks, and then the link.
Pledge Week. There we go. The fucking timer. 10 minutes. There we go. I'm going to figure this shit out one day, folks. One day.
And then the bot should put it in the chat every 10 weeks. Or every 10 minutes.
Let me find something. I have to do something. Where is it? Holy fuck, I talked to a lot of people. I'm just trying to find my mother-in-law, but I can't remember her name. So I'm searching. Anyway, I'm gonna play this as I'm waiting.
Yeah.
I'm not worth your time, but you're still begging me to this day to come to your YouTube channels. And I know my value, and that's why I don't go to your channels no more. I'm sitting back here, and when I was going through my situation, I'm in the house, I'm freezing to death and whatnot, going through all of that and whatnot, people invite me to their YouTube channels, and I'm sitting there like, wait a minute. If I go on this person's YouTube channel, they're going to make like 25 grand on that one day when I go on there, right? That's an exaggerated number. I'm not saying nobody makes that.
And somebody doesn't know how YouTube works. You thought that was a real
Some
number.
people make 500, some people make 1,000 or whatever. And I'm freezing my behind.
No.
They think I'm going to come on their YouTube channel so they can make fun of me and make me feel like garbage and whatnot so that they can make, they must be crazy.
But hang on a minute. So
True
it's like
terrorism doesn't need
they
these
know
people.
how to
True
make
can go on
sorry,
his channel.
they know how to make money on YouTube and he doesn't. So that's their fault.
Yeah. Yeah. See, nobody's on YouTube to not make money. That's the thing.
Yeah. So everybody else is bad, and he's righteous because because he's freezing himself and burning a little hobo fire, and everybody else is raking in the money. It's
that sweet
with him,
YouTube money.
With him, everything is about money or lack thereof, and he's paying that there's other people making money.
But he should make money then. I'm sure he could learn.
That's the problem. He has a lot of difficulty in
Well,
that
it's
activity.
not just
He
that
could watch a
he
YouTube
makes
video.
money. No, he bitches about this stuff because it makes him money. When he goes on and on and on about this, people feel sorry for him, and they give him fucking money directly to his PayPal, and they don't ask questions. He makes himself out to be a sympathetic figure, even though he's definitely fucking not. And then he doesn't have to be accountable for any money he's been given by anybody.
I love the fact that Arthur Rea is saying that he said he will work for $7 an hour. I would be frankly surprised that his last job he was getting any more than $5.
Well, his last job, he said what he was making weekly, and I believe he was making about $250 or $200 weekly.
That's
Which
sad.
If it was $250, that equates to about $7.50 an hour for a regular full-time job.
How many hours are we talking about here?
40.
3 hours.
40. For a standard
That's
full-time job, it'd be 40.
yeah, that's if you take into the fact that he actually pays tax.
No,
I mean,
because I don't.
he's getting money under the table here.
Yeah.
So I think that 250 is gross amount because his gross and his net amount are exactly the same.
Yeah. So okay, so it would be less than that, significantly less than that because of the no tax. All right.
You're right.
He
You're right about that.
actually has gone on
Faith.
record saying that he would be Matt Dillahunty's slave if he goes paid.
Well, the last time he was somebody's slave and they paid him, it didn't work out well for him. So I don't think that that's an option anymore.
He might actually get a better deal being a slave because under those conditions, he actually gets housing and food.
Well, yeah, and that's why I said the last time he was, you know, they were paying him, they were paying for his food, they were housing him because they gave him a fucking house, and yeah, that worked out not good for him.
He can go in there with his dog and do his thing. He can talk about things that he wants to talk about because that's why he made his YouTube channel. I made my YouTube channel to talk about the things that God has put in my heart to talk about on here. You know what I mean? But I do ponder sometimes. I said, why do these people spend so much time railing on me? Why do they spend so much time railing on these other people and whatnot? Like they don't care about these topics. They believe they're going to be fertilizer when they die. It's because they're making money off of it. Pay attention to the shows that you're watching. I'm talking to the believers on here because the atheists can pretty much do whatever they want. But as far as those of you out there who are saved and washed with the blood, when you're watching these YouTube channels, look for the ads. Pay attention to who's giving on Patreon. Start taking a little bit of time out to pay attention who's giving to these super chats and what they're saying during the super chats. Pay attention to how Christians are being treated when they go to their YouTube channels.
So if you actually look at the people who give, quite a few of them actually are believers, believe it or not. And I think that's what he's trying to get at. There's a nice mixture of people who just don't like him. That's a common theme. Is like they know that every time they give me money, that is more than likely going to go to my wife, and that I'm going to be really transparent about that. So that with the fact that them having the satisfaction that they know it's going to make him mad is a twofer. So that's why people actually donate money. And I tell people, you don't have to donate to me. You get some fucking Patreon shit. You get videos of me in the lab, like me in the organic chemistry lab, fucking up experiments, like the Vidic reaction that I fucked up last night. I didn't even upload it, fucked it up so bad. But there's a video of it that I've not uploaded. People are actually curious, but that's really it. Like it's I don't think that I'm worthy enough for people to donate to, but some people do. Like it's on them. I'm not going to turn away free money, but it is quite a bit of a headache to listen to this level of and to not like just go, man. I'm pretty sure I'm making certain decisions in my life that are great compared to this person. It is. I think it's the same way that a lot of us watch. What are those shows? My 600-Pound Life and Hoarders and Addiction. You go, man, I'm not doing that great in life. You know, maybe better than the next person, but man, these people are sucking some major dick in life right now, and this is part of it. Everyone who watches G-Man knows that no matter what they're going through in life, they don't have to be him. Even his buddies acknowledge this. Like, ask which one of his buddies would trade spots with him. Like, if you could just do a life swap, which one of his buddies you think would actually change spots with him? None of them, because they know that he's a loser. They know that there's nothing going on in his life, and he has nothing. So, you know, it's crazy to me that he thinks that people put focus on him because he's something other than a lost cow, and that's really what it comes down to. Well, Javier says, "Hey, Treg. How come T has money to 4 Popeyes, a lot of Bowflexes, and a house, but never offered to G-Man a place?" That's actually a really good question, and some of us were wondering that. while his supposed buddy here was freezing to death. Like Vincent can tell you, when it was hurricane season down there in the peanuts of the United States, one of the first things I said is, "Hey man, if you need a place to stay, come let me know. You can stay with me." So your guess is as good as mine. But this Christian brother friendship, whatever bullshit, that's an act. It is an act. It is a fucking act. He doesn't know what an actual friend is. He has no idea. He knows that there are people out there who will help him in some way, shape, or form get to the stuff that he wants, or get to the destination that he needs to go, or something to help him. But that's kind of the only purpose that other people serve in his life. He can't actually form real connections with people. And I think a lot of folks just think I'm being mean when I say that. There's something mentally wrong with him where he can't actually attach to people. That's why you don't see him have any close familiar relationship with anyone, because he's burned them all.
You remember how fucked up it was to talk about how often he talked to you on the phone compared to how often he would talk to Ronnie on the phone?
Yeah, there was a period in time where he would be calling me, every other day, and it's like, shit, you don't talk to your boy Ronnie. I knew he didn't talk to Ronnie that much because he didn't even have Ronnie's number when we were in New York, because he was trying to call Ken Jones and all these other people so he could show them that, hey, we're all just sitting in the van having a good time. He didn't even have Ronnie's number. So I'm like, well, hold on.
Trying to get a hold of Ronnie on Skype.
Yeah, like on Skype. But it's like, how's this guy your friend and you don't even have his phone number, right? And to him, he saw nothing wrong with that. Like, he didn't see what the big deal was. And it's like, if he's your friend, how much do you actually know about Ronnie? Like, have you actually sat down and talked about your life story or where you're trying to go in life? No. So y'all just talk on the internet. Well, yeah. Okay. So this is, y'all might as well just be guildmates, and this is a fucking video game. Like, that's really what. But even then, I've known more about the people that I've played games with, and for less than a year, than Ronnie and G-Man know about each other over the last almost decade now. Like, that's sad. So, oh my God, so much to unpack, folks. So much.
Are they laughing at them, or are they sincerely trying to have a conversation? Do you guys realize that there are respectful atheists on the internet who fundamentally disagree with what I believe, but they don't invite me to their YouTube channel to laugh at me? Sometimes they just want to talk. Go figure. Sometimes they just want to talk. Why do you think I don't go on the Drunken Peasants that often no more? I get sick and tired of it after a while.
No,
okay?
They get sick and tired.
If they invited me there today, I'm not going. If they invite me tomorrow, I'm not going.
They won't.
He said that before. He said that he's never going on there again, and he's tired of him laughing, but he knows what the deal is. Like, he wouldn't make a spectacle of himself and start eating chicken like it was the last fucking piece of food he'll ever eat in his life if he didn't think that it would garner him some attention. Like, he can play this fucking game, but he said this shit before. Like, it's a point where he does genuinely get tired of people making fun of him, but he doesn't feel as though his actions need to change, like, in the least. Like, it's always someone else's problem. It's always everyone else is just being mean to him. It's not the fact that he's a ridiculous fucking person and that there's a reason his life is shit and nobody likes him. No, it's everyone else just being mean, and that's all there is to it. And that's simply not the fucking case, you know. Yes, I was the person who wanted the fried chicken because you kept talking about that place, and I said, I'm gonna try out this fried chicken, and I did. And I needed something to kind of even out the nonsense that had been going on with green tea and human
honestly,
trafficking.
if I had the money, I'd go to Popeyes tonight.
I know, right? I think the wife actually had Popeyes for lunch, so I think it might be a Popeyes night, folks. Ronnie, we'll hit you up for that 2-for-1 special, Ronnie. I'll meet you behind back like always. Bring Betty.
Make sure the biscuits are extra dry.
Yes, I wanna feel like I'm getting in fucking autoerotic asphyxiation. I want to feel it tonight.
No, Sacramento show. They know I'm not going on nobody's show where it does not benefit me and my ministry.
see, Drunken Peasants won't have him on unless their fans really demand it.
But think about this a minute.
Non-sex show
You
won't
as a
have him on
Christian,
at
for those
all.
of you who have recently suffered this, I'm praying for you, and I hope the Lord gives you peace and everything and whatnot. But I know how it feels to go into a room and you're in the room with these atheists, and it's like 5 of them, and there's one of you, and they're muting your microphone, lowering your volume, asking you 10 questions, and halfway into your answer, they're asking you 5 more new questions and whatnot, because they're not really interested in what you have to say. They're just trying to make that money.
Bullshit.
You know what I mean? And even
The irony here is fucking Rich. Like, that's exactly what the fuck you do. Like, that is almost word for word what you pull, and that's why people don't go to your fucking channel, because you're a child, and they know that you're going to do that the second people get you in a corner. Like, hence, like the last time, how many of y'all remember when the last time Sock Account went in there, went into his room to explain to him his basis of for morality, and Sokka couldn't even finish a whole fucking thought because Doofus here didn't understand what Sokka was saying and kept trying to go down these tangents that had nothing to do with what Sokka was talking about, and then got mad and said that Sokka was trolling him because he didn't understand what Sokka was saying.
The difference being, like, there are times when, like, people will stop somebody in the middle of something while they're talking in a room like yours and ask you clarifying questions because I have no idea what the fuck you're on about, right? So I need you to clarify for me. But we stay on the same topic. In G-Man's room, it's, I'm going to stop you in the middle of your sentence and we're going to go over here now because I can't deal with what you're saying. And so he's projecting that onto everybody the fuck else.
Yeah. No, it's justified when he does it. You know, that's when the standard changes. You can't.
I can vouch for that. I can vouch for that. I have only ever been in G-Man's channel once, and yeah, that's exactly what he did. Literally word for word.
There we go.
And he kept trying to tell me water was wet.
Who's that, Serb?
Nah, it's Renegade.
It's Renegade. Oh, okay,
Yeah,
that's
it's
Renegade.
Renegade.
Like, he sounds a lot like Serb.
The Serb sound alike.
He does sound a lot like Serb, but like I can tell the difference.
Yeah.
I think it's the fact that one of them's Canadian and the other one's not.
Serb's not Canadian?
Yeah,
he's not.
He's Serbian, eh?
He might be. I don't know. I always call him Serb for Service Hex. That is his actual handle. But
Yep. Well, he's got another one, but I'm not divulging that publicly.
oh yeah, let's do this. Not.
He's got a couple other ones.
He's citing atheists.
Atheists know what I'm talking about because I have championed the cause of if I'm hosting a Google Hangout, I think now, and an atheist comes into my room, I try to let them get their words out. I try to let them speak. I get a little.
So like this is a whole new concept for him. I try my hardest to let them actually speak. Man, you mean to tell me this entire ass time you knew that you wouldn't fucking doing that? Like, come on, this dude is a piece of fucking work, dude. Like, he would buck left, right, and center that he was just as fair to anybody else, and he would let people speak, and that only happens when atheists, yada, yada, yada. No. So now he finally acknowledges that he can't control himself. Now he acknowledges that people can't get out full thoughts. Like, this is the shit that I'm talking about. Now he finally realizes once people do the same shit to him that he does to other people, now he doesn't like it. Oh man, poor little bitch boy. My goodness. You're a fucking sensitive ass bitch. God damn.
Excited in these hangouts now with 12 people, and I need to work on that.
I get excited. Calm your stupid ass
For the
down.
most part, I try to let people talk. If you watch my Hebrew Israelite videos, I let these people talk, and I let them go on and on and on and on, because I sincerely and genuinely want to hear what they got to say. And where I agree with them, I will agree with them. And where I disagree with them, I will disagree with them.
He's
and
lying
you'll
there
notice
because he just lets
ain't
them
no ads
talk,
running on this channel.
and then
The
he
only
said
my
what he was
mouth.
going to say.
Even the
anyways.
atheists.
That's the thing. Like, it's like in every debate he's ever had, he'll let the other person talk, he'll do stupid shit and play with his hands and fucking, do whatever the fuck he's gonna do on his camera while they're talking. But then he just says whatever the fuck he was gonna say anyways, and fuck whatever points they tried to make.
You're right, and you're right about that, Faith. Um, he can go in there with his dog and do his thing. I do ponder sometimes. Are they laughing at them, or are they okay? If they invited me there today, I'm not going to go into a room, and you're in a room with these atheists, and it's like 5 of them, and there's one of you, and they're muting your microphone over. And you'll notice, ain't no ads running on this channel. The only time you ever hear me talk about money on this channel is if I'm doing a fundraiser or it's a G podcast, because they use that money for transportation and everything. But y'all need to understand something. The reason why these people are attacking you is because they want to make money. They have no other reason for it. They want to make money. They're doing it for the money.
So I got a question.
That's an absolute lie.
It is.
Back during when he was homeless, he was going on and on and on all about his his Patreon. It's not even a fundraiser. How would you even try to fundraise for yourself and kicked out?
It's called charity at that point.
It's not even called charity.
It's called desperation.
But how sad is it that he has to literally go to another fucking state to talk to people because he can't talk to people in his own area because they'll just beat the ever loving shit out of him, and he knows it.
What's funny?
They typically should beat the ever living shit out of him, even in New York.
The laws are stricter in New York, and nobody wants to get beat up by the NYPD. So
that's a good point.
They don't.
Well, wasn't he initiating physical contact with some people over in
He was,
NYC?
and they called the cops, and the cops came, and the cops made him leave. At one point.
He has a hard time keeping his hands to himself, as seen in a few videos. Actually, I'm just gonna. I know he's watching, so I gotta find MP's video just to make him shame again. But it's weird because Vince, you'd mentioned this before. Now the monetization is only maybe 2 years old, I think.
Well, monetization's been around for a while, but the super chats have only been around for maybe 2 years.
Okay, so the super chats and stuff. So
yeah.
So that it's interesting that I had started my channel way before any of this was even implemented, and I was going after Godson Al and the other dude known as I think the Rooftop Guru or some shit like that. I can't remember his real name.
Yeah.
But then I found him. So he can pretend as though people are only doing if I was doing this for the money, I would go after Darkside Phil or Wings of Redemption. That would be easier to do. There's more content and they upload stuff every day, and it doesn't take a whole of a hell lot to do their videos at all. And there's already literally thousands of people waiting for more videos like that. They're waiting at the helm. So
that's something. You don't do this as a content creator for money because you don't have a regular upload schedule. When you run a YouTube channel as a business, the people who are on here for money, you upload at least one video a day on a schedule, so it's out at the same time every day, and you cover the topics that your viewer base want. This platform isn't good for streamers, but at the same time, G-Man wouldn't even know what the adpocalypse is. Which is something else that's happened on YouTube that's dramatically fucked people's revenue up, which is why they started having Patreons. Because ad revenue through YouTube is fucking damn near nothing. unless you're like PewDiePie or Markiplier or somebody who has a couple 100,000 subs, you know, and you're getting hundreds of thousands of views on a video, then the ad revenue kind of stacks up. But the guys out there that are like Logic, Godless Cranium, Dieter Lucum, the guys that have just Patreons and produce content, they don't, like, all of the money that they make comes from their Patreon, and those people aren't paying them to laugh at people. They're paying them because they enjoy watching their content. Yeah. Oh, you may be muted on stream.
Yeah, I muted myself on stream. Yeah, like there's so many avenues and aspects to like being monetized and then being demonetized that he doesn't really understand, and so he's just going based on what other people have just like, holy shit, that's loud. Other people have told him that he really doesn't understand, because if he knew anything about the apocalypse or about how any of this stuff works, over half of my videos are demonetized, and I'm pretty sure people know why.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is he's taking this advice and this bullshit story from Brett Keane. Brett Keane understands how YouTube used to work, like 5 years ago, when he and TJ were making super good money. But then he got banned because he doxed somebody, and he was supposed to be banned forever, but whatever. He doesn't know how YouTube works now, and he's living off of his disability and whatever his wife makes, and he does YouTube as a side thing because he's bored as fuck. That's literally why Brett does YouTube. He's bored as fuck.
Yeah, and getting your life together takes effort, which the manatee is not interested in doing. Neither is the retard, so they're perfect for each other. They're perfect bedfellows. They should go fuck each other. So, as a brief intermission, because we're definitely going to draw this this thing to a close here soon, but I have to play this just so G-Man is reminded of his failures.
On my channel so I can get like more than two subs. No, you guys ready? Alright, say the word. Okay, you ready? One, two, one, go! G-Man's got the better angle there with the tilt. It's looking good. It's looking good. The sweat. Uh-oh.
So I have to ask, is it legit that I should be afraid of him?
Yeah, I gotta come around here.
You've
This is the man.
arm wrestled him and you've done jiu-jitsu with me. How afraid do I?
Arm hurting.
The problem was he wasn't
Dude, I've
wearing his
cleaned my
hat and
part.
he didn't flip it around. It's like a switch.
When you saw him. Yeah. So is that what G-Man meant by being afraid of my gun?
Yes, yeah, that's exactly what he was saying about guns. That's the
Look,
jiu-jitsu shit.
In of itself, my guns are not dangerous.
In and around of itself, and because and whatnot.
And what?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I forgot to unmute myself. Sorry about that. Let's see. How did it feel touching the dried up? No, actually, his hands are remarkably soft. One of the things I was actually surprised about was how soft his hands were, because he would claim to be like a hard working man and he did construction, and it's like my hands are more callous than yours, and I've not done construction or any like really hard labor
Yeah,
in
but
a
you have a
number of
huge
years.
penis, so
That,
like when you jack off, that's where the callus is.
Well,
Yeah.
Fiona's hands were more callous than G-Man's.
Right. That was his funny
Oh,
thing.
Her husband has a huge penis. You see how I can do this for anyone?
Yeah, I figured you'd end up going there.
I'm just look, Allie, like we say this because he wants to like tell people online that he's a macho man. Like all of his buddies who have never met him will lie for him and say, "No, G-Man, you're the manliest man." Meanwhile, those of us who have met him notice that it's like we're not making that up just to make fun of him. Like, he actually does have some really soft hands, and it's shocking only because he makes a big deal out of this shit. Like, it's fine. It's not a big deal in a grand scheme of things, but he does not want to admit to having really soft hands. He does not want it. He does not want people to know that he is actually a bit scared of me, even though everybody notices that. Like, it's obvious.
Well, who is more chilled out than the intro instructor at my jujitsu school? Like, who is a more nice, chilled out? And that guy would whoop everyone's ass, and almost everyone's ass that I know, other than other jujitsu.
Oh no, the dude was fucking chill. Like, I could definitely see myself having a beer with him after he harangued my goddamn neck 50,000 times. But no, like that is
He's an absolute beast. So like, if you're macho, you don't really need, like, if you're tough, you don't need to be this unnecessary macho shit. Like, that's a in my mind, that's a huge reflection of insecurity, because most of those guys, like, yeah, you push them the wrong way, but for the most part, they're just kind of chilled out,
Yeah, that's one of the things too that I find hilarious about, like, when Von Helton wants to tell you about his adventures in the military, and it's like, no one who's been in actually talks like that, buddy. Now we can tell that you're making shit up, Vonnie boy. So if anybody is in contact with old Stinky himself, let him know that I would love to have a conversation with him just on his service, none of the other bullshit, just about that, because he and I definitely need to chat about that. So yeah. Tough guys don't need to mention that they were a medic in the army. No, but you have to, just to remind people, for other reasons that have nothing to do with insecurity at all.
Yeah, I mean, real tough guys go to new school.
Right.
Pay attention to the channels. You'll know which ones are doing it because they care about the topics, and you'll know which ones are doing it strictly for the money. And atheists don't care because they're like, who cares about that person's life? He's a creatard. We're going to give money to this person to make this creatard miserable. At least that's the way of thinking.
Peering behind the
money can make these people do a
the
lot
veil
of
there
things.
that we can.
You know what I mean?
That you're making him miserable.
But
Like,
whenever
for an
I do
alpha
TV
male,
versus
he
the world, it's
he
to
sure
have you
is
guys.
bothered by what you do, right?
I find that why would he care? Like, the only reason I even have that level of Patreon is to piss him off. Like, it's overtly there for no other purpose other than to piss him off. And so what does he do? He gets pissed off by it. Like, why would he care that people donate money to me? What does that have to do with him?
It has everything to do with him because reasons.
Sam, you're breaking up really bad. Uh-oh. Someone hacked his account again.
No, I'm just cleaning.
Oh. Soft-spoken
But,
Satan says, if he's not a victim, G-Man ain't living life right.
You joke, but in his head, that's how it works.
That
he
is
needs
true.
to be persecuted because, well, we talked about this actually on the trip, is that he needs to be persecuted because otherwise, why is his life so miserable? Like, the idea that he could, this is why he believes in all that tribulation, right? It's because God forbid he has to take any responsibility for where he's
Yeah, he's not going to at any point in time, and his buddies aren't going to make him take responsibility. So why not just have the victim narrative? But noticing the time, folks, is about 3 hours. I'm going to play a little bit more of this and then get people's final thoughts, and then I'm going to go probably try and do something constructive with my life, like sober up more. So
And whatnot.
And whatnot.
Confront me about the things that I've done or I've said. When I do the G podcast, I want to wake people up about the Hebrew Israelites. When I do the Bring It Hebrew Israelites, I like doing that because I get to sit down and have a candid adult conversation one-on-one with the Hebrew Israelite. My channel has a purpose. I want to win people to Christ, and I want to get people out of heresy and false teachings. That is the purpose of this YouTube channel, to warn people about the days that we're living in. I couldn't tell you what some of these other channels are for.
So I'm going to stop it right there. We're at, I might as well say 19 minutes. So there are at least 3 people that we have confirmed that G-Man has at least shaken or gone as far as broken their faith on here. I am also privy to people who are in certain other camps that he has influenced for the negative. We'll say that. But he likes to tell people that he's over here doing the Lord's work. Has anyone ever asked him to like present somebody who said that yes, G-Man and his ministry online have taken me from being an atheist to a Christian, or Black Hebrew Israelite to a Christian, or something of that nature? Has anyone ever, like, because I would love to see somebody. I know that Johnny KZJ or whatever his name is, he was converted by Nephi, and he would openly state that, which, as scary as that is, that's evidence, right? I've yet to see someone actually say that G-Man was the reason they became a Christian at all.
What's sad is I knew somebody who Nephi's the reason they became an atheist.
Oh, that's terrible, but funny.
Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that he's full of shit. That's just me, because he's, well, one thing, he's a liar. He can't get his own life together, so why would anyone listen to him for life advice? But if he has evidence to this, I would love to see it. And Soft-Spoken Satan says, I can confirm while I was questioning my faith, G-Man on the Drunken Peasants pushed me away from it. Wow. Was he the only reason? No, but still. So yeah, that's quite telling. So this is JD King and some of his spawn giving an apology to Gary Moore.
Hello everyone. This is an apology video to Gary Moore. Hello Gary. My apologies for using your name, Gary Moore, in a public on-air hangout. I hope you will accept my apology, Gary Moore, for using your name, Gary Moore, in a hangout. Gary Moore.
There we go. Okay. You guys can see what I've been watching lately. But so yeah, a lot of DSP. Drayna, have you read some of the recent theology papers on my own worldview? No, I have not. They are all about how he and the CCP behave and how it shakes my faith. Wow, that's actually pretty interesting, Sabella. And sad too. Like, even as an atheist, like, I don't really seek to shake anyone's faith, but geez, like, that's bad. Like, that's pretty bad.
Like, I used to show his videos, like, right about the summer of G-Man, because, you know, I was a little wrapped up in stuff. I would show his shit to people I worked with when I was working doing medical records. And, like, they were appalled, and it shook their faith. Like, they had to go talk to their pastor and shit.
Yeah.
One of the women I worked with was a pastor, and I showed her one of his videos. And her only response was that he needs Jesus.
The self-professed Christian on here with his ministry needs Jesus.
It was a older African American woman. So you
Oh
you know what
Lord.
it means when they say that.
Oh man, that's not good. That's not good. That's not good. But of course, you know, everyone's making this stuff up. You know, like he'll run and tell folks. But then when we got a video, people laughing at him, he gets upset. It's like, bro, like, you do this to yourself. Like, there's a reason random people come across this and just go, what the fuck? And they think he's a troll. Like, everyone's first response is that he's trolling. no one's this stupid. No one's this bad. No, he is this stupid. He is that bad.
That was Ben's position on the Drunken Peasants for goddamn like 6 months.
Like,
G-Man's a troll. Like I can't. No, nobody can be that stupid. And then he slowly learned that people on the internet are a lot stupider than you think they can be.
This is why, ladies, you do not drink when you are pregnant, because you end up producing things like that. Don't drink heavily. Excuse me. You can have a glass of wine. It's actually okay. But when you drink heavily, you produce little peanut head looking motherfuckers like that, who have stunted growth, intellectually and physically. So don't create more things like that. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It is not worth it. So, because the rest of us got to put up with it. But evidently some of us are only after filthy lucre's sake. So we can't, and anyway, y'all have a good fucking night, because I'm going to go find something constructive to do. Does anybody else want to say anything?
Allegedly.
That's it. All right, folks.
Because 1 minute is this, the next minute is that, and it's all about the money.
And on that note, y'all have a good night.